I'm in.
Let's get Arian and Avatar. All right, that's starting macrodosing with no context around it, but you could probably guess what we're talking about. We're getting Arian into Avatar. He watches the movie every night, and people were taking bets on whether or not he was going to say Avatar. Guess what? I think that was the first word of today's podcast. But welcome back to Macrodosing. You really have no choice but to listen. So I would say thank you, but I don't need to thank you guys for doing your job. It's kind of mandatory at this point. But we're back in the studio. We've got the whole squad here. We've got Coley back and Arian back remotely. So big show today. Big show today. Something we've been talking about for a while. But before we get into everything, anything you guys want to get off your chest? Anything going on? Any infighting? Billy, how's the Chick-fil-A diet going?
I was on TikTok this weekend, and I went down a rabbit hole about like 5 hours of people who think that they solved the missing girl case out west, and there's all these people on TikTok claiming that they've figured it out.
That's all my TikTok. That's all I did this weekend was watch it.
Well, it turned out they found her. So there was a YouTuber,
rest in peace,
that actually looked through some of his footage.
That shit is so mind-blowing that happened.
So he just, if you don't know the story behind it, there was a guy and his girlfriend, and they went traveling across the country. They outfitted a van together and kind of just made a long excursion out of it. They were living on the road for a while, traveling to national parks. And
they were like YouTubers.
Yeah, they were YouTubers chronicling their adventures and everything. And then the guy came home one day, and the girl wasn't there. And so people have been trying to figure out what happened to the girl. Obviously, everyone's pointing fingers at this guy, and he has refused to talk to the police, which, as Big T will tell you, is the correct thing to do. Right, Big T?
Well, it's generally not smart to talk unless you have a lawyer, so...
Yeah. Well,
so
that's what I've been wondering, actually, because as we've said on the show, I've been watching a lot of police interrogation videos because it's sunk its algorithm claws into me somehow, and I'm fascinated by watching the criminal psychology and how the police are able to manipulate people into confessing. But in a situation like that, let's just say that you're totally innocent, absolutely 100% innocent, and you come back and your girlfriend or your wife has gone missing. You would want to get her back, right? You would try to do everything that you could to find her.
But if you know that the police have already zeroed in on you as a person of interest or a suspect, you still shouldn't talk to them.
No, the first thing you do with a missing person is you call the police, because the first 24 hours is the most important.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows that shit. Like,
yeah.
Especially with missing children. So if you're not reporting your significant other missing,
yeah, he drove from Wyoming to Florida before anyone knew that she was gone.
It's one of those weird kind of in-between situations, because I understand that you should not speak to the police because they will try to put something on you. They're just going to use your words, even if you're totally innocent. They will likely use your words because they do view you as a suspect. They'll try to trap you into a timeline that you give them. And a lot of times, if you're just speaking off the top of your head, you're not going to remember things 100% correctly. And then they'll be like, well, you're lying about this detail if you forget something. And then you end up in a whole world of shit. I do agree that can happen. But speaking logically, if you're on the road with your girlfriend or your wife and she just doesn't come back to the car, the first thing I'm doing is I'm finding somebody to report that to and then helping that person find the girl.
By the way, he's also gone missing in Florida. He ran off into the wilderness. People think that he's not trying to escape because they've already surrounded that wilderness and they're looking for him.
What's he doing?
They think he might have, made it easier on everybody.
Unalived himself.
Yeah.
Unalived, de-lived himself?
Yeah, which makes sense, honestly.
Gator food?
Yeah.
I actually was just on Twitter looking at it right before we got in here, and he was supposedly in a certain, wildlife reserve is what they narrowed it down to. They searched that whole reserve, didn't come up with him, so they kind of scratched that, and they're like, okay, we're moving on from this reserve and moving on to something else. Breaking news as of 2:39 on Monday, they think that they've spotted him in Mobile, Alabama.
So he's on the run.
On the run, if we're looking at it on a map, towards Mexico.
God damn it.
So, again, it's not, confirmed, nothing's confirmed, but someone said that they saw him getting or catching a hitchhike to a nearby Walmart in Mobile, Alabama. So if you happen to be listening to this in Mobile, Alabama.
Keep your eyes out.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Well, did you
Yeah,
see this?
right,
That
yeah.
there was a dead body found near a Walmart dumpster in Mobile, Alabama last night. Also,
I did not know that.
Shit.
I searched Mobile on Twitter and that came up too.
He also runs around barefooted. He's a big barefoot guy, and that's his like MO.
That's a red flag.
I'm totally out of the loop. Who is this dude?
It's a missing persons case that has got TikTok up in arms.
It's a guy and a girl who they're YouTubers, and they went on the road and they were chronicling their adventures in national parks and shit. And then one day, the girl went missing, and the guy just went off the grid, and he won't talk to the police or anything. And they're trying to find this girl. It looked like they found her body the other day because people were looking on YouTube at different footage that people had recorded inside these national parks and thought they spotted their van at the time of day that this girl went missing. So they searched that area. They found a body up there. It's like you remember the Malaysian plane when everybody was like looking at their computers trying to find out where that thing went? That's kind of what a lot of people were doing here in the United States, trying to find where this girl was and maybe if she was still alive, like where it would be likely to find her.
And
And
also,
they found her.
they found her dead.
They found her dead,
recently.
yeah.
But they also
Yo, go ahead, Manny. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. There was body cam footage. They got pulled over about a week and a half before she initially went missing because someone called the police on a domestic dispute incident because they were fighting outside of their van. And so then there's like an hour and a half of body cam footage of her and him like crying to the cops because they were like getting in fights, and she was like talking about how she slapped him, missed, and like scratched his face. And so there was some could say build up about it, and so some are saying that's also a big reason why the person of interest is pointed at him. One, because he drove home 2,000 miles without saying anything. Two, because there's all this body cam footage of a domestic dispute right before she went missing. So some are saying like he kind of snapped. And
All right, well, I'm putting out an APB for all the Macrodosians.
Yeah.
All the Macrodosians out there. APB, be on the lookout for a barefoot white guy with shoeless and barefoot with
Bald, I mean.
bald.
He's bald.
He's hairless, shoeless. He's got a shark tooth necklace or something weird like that, right?
Yeah.
but the shark tooth necklace went missing.
It went missing. Okay, the plot thickens.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
So just be on the lookout for a white guy in Alabama, is what I'm saying. And so if you see a white guy in Alabama, call the police immediately. Don't try to talk to them yourself.
Maybe we should let him get to Mexico. I feel like he'll be easier to spot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Send him to Monterey for a while.
Yeah. There was a part of this, because I get nervous talking about like an ongoing case, just because we don't know all the details and a lot of it's speculative. But there's a part of it that I feel like works well with our show. I don't know how we haven't talked about it before. Maybe we did on an episode I wasn't here for, but the zone of death
Oh, yeah.
out in Yellowstone. Do you know about this, PFT or Arian?
Nah.
I've heard of it. I think I've just heard Billy talk about how crazy it is.
This
Yeah.
feels like a pretty big loophole we need to close sooner than later, because there is a 50 square mile part of Yellowstone National Park. I guess it's technically in Idaho, but it's under like zero. It's basically under international law in the sense that there's no law here because no one technically lives there or claims it. And Brian Kalt, was a law professor at Michigan State. He published an essay in 2005 in the Georgetown Law Journal titled "The Perfect Crime," which basically pointed out that there was a place where there aren't enough eligible citizens to form a jury, thus there could not technically be a trial against someone, theoretically, and that the only area he found in the United States was the so-called zone of death inside Yellowstone National Park. He brought it all the way to Congress in 2007, and Congress just outright ignored it, being like, well, now that this is public, surely no one will try and take advantage of this giant loophole. And it goes all the way back to the Constitution. Like he pointed out, the Constitution is what dictates the jury aspect I just talked about.
Yeah.
So it's troublesome.
So from what I gather, it's basically because you have the right to a fair trial tried by your peers. Mm-hmm. The fact that they can't source any residents who are your peers technically in that area, they can't give you a fair trial because no one would be on the jury because technically there's no one's living in that area.
Right, but I think because I was thinking about this last night, you could technically do that with like any large enough lake, like if you were just in the middle of it. But I think why this falls into it is because that section of Yellowstone, again, is technically in Idaho, but all of the rest of the anything else that were to happen within Yellowstone would fall under Wyoming district courts. So because it's in this like no man's land on the border, they wouldn't know how. I guess I figure they could just like force a jury. I don't know if we would really hold up to the jury of your peers argument here.
I think with a lake, the lake is part of the territory of a surrounding district. So anyone that lived in that district, even if it was a giant lake, that would count as being a jury of your peers. In this case, they really jumped pretty quickly to death, to zone of death. They could have just started with like, hey, it's the zone of jaywalking, or it's this, you can get away with smoking weed here, you know, instead of like, hey, murder. This, if you want to murder a guy, I know a spot.
Well, there was a poacher, Michael Belderain, who shot an elk in that section of Yellowstone, and you could tell that this guy might have like, you know, been doing this a lot, and like he was like, oh, if I ever get caught, like I'm just gonna say like, you know, no one can try me. And then he ended up, they bypassed the Sixth Amendment problem. A federal judge ruled that he would be tried in the U.S. District for the District of Wyoming. So, like, they sorted it out.
Plan really blew up in his face.
Yeah, but honestly, he did a service. Now there's precedent.
That sounds like one of the sovereign citizens guys who should be an episode, actually, of Macrodosing, is the sovereign citizen movement, where they're just like, there's no fringe, there's no yellow fringe on that American flag in the courtroom, and I'm entitled to a maritime trial based on the Articles of Confederation. They take it way back, and they try to get out of speeding tickets. And basically their whole premise is if I'm a big enough pain in the ass, judges won't want to give me speeding tickets, or they'll just give up. And so I can get away with a little bit more money. So maybe that's something that we'll look into in the future.
But, you know, these national parks and these campgrounds and these places on, you know, these walking trails, be it the Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide, or the Pacific Northwest Trail, it's really like the Wild West out there. I mean, I at one point was near the Continental Divide Trail and meeting some of the guys who walk the trail. I actually had a relative who walked the Appalachian Trail after he retired. And the lean-tos and like campsites kind of get wild because you have a lot of people who've been alone and they've been walking for days and days. Like, you know, people are crazy enough to just, you know, walk 25 miles a day and like walk across the U.S. Forrest Gump style alone, and just with a backpack and living off the land and food they buy at every town. And, you know, these people aren't like, you know, they don't fit into society because as they're choosing to like walk for months and months on these trails. And to be honest, they like end up, there's a lot of scenarios with like basically feral humans who don't want to be in society. Maybe they're, you know, running from something, and these like campsites are pretty dangerous. There's a lot more murders in these places than people think. There was a couple who died around Moab recently too, who
they thought was connected to that case for a minute.
That was a TikTok theory. I didn't exactly.
You got to stay off TikTok when it comes to like murder mysteries and true crime shit. Billy, yesterday we were watching football and Billy just pulled up a picture and he was like, holy shit, look at this picture of heroin, fentanyl, and another drug. Carfentanyl. And what the difference is between like a deadly dose of each. And we're like, Billy, what's the source on that? He was like, it's on Reddit. And we're like, okay, so what's the source? He's like, it's a picture. They printed out like labels. I don't think anyone would just like fake a label and then put it on a bottle and then put powder in it. And there's probably some truth behind what you were looking at.
It was probably true.
All you have, all you have to do.
I could probably, if I wanted to, I could look it up and finally confirm it.
Okay. But it's just very easy to trick you. That's all I'm saying.
It's not easy.
It is.
If
it's on Reddit or TikTok, you're
fact. Fentanyl is in small doses is very easy to overdose on.
Fact. Correct.
So if I see a picture of a little bit of fentanyl and they say that's a lethal dose, I'm gonna believe that.
Okay.
Why? Because it's true.
Because it's confirmation bias. That's the real answer.
I didn't know about carfentanil, which is like supposed to sedate elephants.
Really?
Yeah, so that little bit that can kill a human, like a literally grain of rice.
How frequently do we need to like sedate an elephant that we've got labs in China working round the clock cranking this stuff out?
Well, they just have the compound since when it was like when the patent ran out on carfentanil, like whatever veterinary pharmaceutical company in America, then it becomes open source. So then you have labs in China who are just pumping it out, and then they're like, we can sneak a baseball size of carfentanil easier than a whole big brick of heroin. So we just send it over the border, you know, in some merchandise because it's easy to smuggle because it's smaller, and then they dilute it once they get it to the U.S.
Right.
And then that's how they sell it.
Fentanyl's a real problem. I don't want
Huge
to.
problem.
I don't want to minimize the problems that fentanyl and carfentanil, it sounds like, have created.
But sedating elephants is also you need to sedate elephants sometimes because they go into musk and they go crazy. No, do you think this is a huge problem in India?
It's a massive
It's
problem.
a huge problem once domesticated elephants in India. The males go into musk. They start getting this like black residue that like leaks from the back of their ears, and they go nuts, and they just
go
start
into war
killing
mode.
people. Yeah, they start tearing stuff down and like destroying whole villages, and it's because they're like it's because they're horny.
It's like that. It's like the killer whale fin when it starts to droop over. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you, man. Maybe the take home here is stop domesticating animals. Like, stop this shit. Like,
Especially elephants.
Like, what the fuck would you want an elephant for, bro? That's the weirdest shit in the world.
Well, back in the day, they were basically like excavators, and like they used to lift shit.
We have tools now.
Yeah, now we do,
got
but you know,
trucks and forklifts and all kind of crazy.
Not everyone in India, though.
yeah, I mean,
There are some villages that probably don't, but
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of agree with not keeping an elephant as a pet. I know
we
it's
still
a
do
tool.
here, don't they? We still have circuses and shit, don't we?
Yeah, that's true.
I think they might have.
Circuses are like slowly becoming illegal.
Yeah.
Or not slowly. Like they're
Zoos. I can't wait till zoos are too. Zoos are the worst, bro.
Yeah.
Zoos
that
are
and
horrible.
SeaWorld.
I honestly,
SeaWorld is the worst.
I love zoos, but they're awful places. I still love them. Like, I like going there to see the animals. I have fun when I do that, but I don't know. I'm a huge hypocrite when it comes to zoos, I guess. Like,
Zoos do great PR for themselves too. They always are donating money. Like they keep themselves like looking better than they really are. But I also think to myself, and they get this line of thinking working for them too. If I were an animal and on very much in the middle of the food chain, get me in a zoo. I'm all in. I'm all in with that zoo life.
mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the seals at the Central Park Zoo, like they get fed every day, they chill, they seem pretty happy.
Yeah, but they probably miss the ocean. They
don't know what the ocean
They miss
is.
swimming
They're
around.
captive bred.
That's sad.
They don't know.
That's sad though. Like, Billy, imagine if you were bred in a country that didn't even have football, and you grew up playing soccer.
But I
And
wouldn't
then
have known.
you saw a football field one day, and you're like one of those dogs when they jump out of the back of a car and they see like a pile of leaves. You just sprint out onto the field, ready to go. You would just feel so much natural there, so much at home.
It's nature versus nurture.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess fuck zoos, but also zoos are cool.
I love zoos.
I do love. I love going.
I'm a card-carrying member of
Are you?
the Bronx.
You're a frequent zoo?
I don't know if it got renewed.
Let me see your zoo card.
But when I was a
Yeah,
kid,
let me see your zoo card.
when I was a
don't believe
kid,
you.
I don't think I think my mom would give it to me for like my birthday every year.
Yeah.
So I think she stopped.
I'm out on SeaWorld. I haven't been to SeaWorld in a couple years, probably like 10 years, ever since I saw Blackfish. But it was cool when I went there. I like looking at animals. That's all I'm going to say. But disavow zoos.
Yeah, Blackfish, like once you see the comparison of like how massive whales are and compare them to the pools they're in, putting that in, that's like us living in a bathtub our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I'm out on SeaWorld. Zoos sometimes I feel like do like rehab and they can help live a better life for animals.
That's they cover. That's
Or is
like
that their marketing?
You know,
Yeah, that's a
But
dope house.
What the fuck is SeaWorld doing?
That cleans up graffiti on the side. You know what I mean? that's they cover, man. Fuck out of here, dog.
They're smart.
think about this. There's more tigers in the United States than there is in the wild. So
And that's insanity, dog. That's crazy.
We'll never live in a world where tigers are extinct because of that. and we can constantly
you don't know that.
repopulate.
Listen, 99% of all life on Earth that has existed has died at some point. Animals dying is a part of it. The issue is us having a hand in the reasons as to why those animals are dying. So if we're actively deforest, what's the word? We're cutting down a forest, or we're fucking up their natural habitat. Then it's important for us to reintroduce them into the wild, make sure that they breed, and make sure that they grow. Like that's the problem. Is we fuck up their homes, and then we're like, well, we got them in captivity, and think that's the same thing. No, bro. If I don't want to see a tiger in prison, I don't want to see it.
Okay, that's a fair point. But also, if we have them in captivity, just in case they do go extinct in the wild, we can repopulate them.
Why would they go extinct in the wild, though?
Global warming.
Because we're hunting them down?
We got some polar bears in zoos, and then one day the ice caps totally melt and all the polar bears go away.
Nothing's worse than seeing a polar bear on a hot day in a zoo.
Yeah.
I feel
weird,
so bad.
right?
Yeah.
It's so weird. And that's the thing, too, is like, okay, like we're ruining their environment and then keeping them alive. Like, they're only there because of that environment was there for them to prosper. Now that the environment isn't there, like, they should die off. It is what it is.
I probably have too much precedent of loving the zoo from a standpoint, so it's probably clouding my judgment on this issue.
Yeah, you are a zoo stan.
I'm a zoo
kind of the reverse here. We just gotta end the dream for panda bears. They don't want it anymore. They don't want to be here. We're the only ones keeping them going. They don't even fuck anymore. We just inseminate the females so they can keep them going. We only keep pandas so NBA players can go take pictures with baby panda bears every off season. We don't need them. They don't want to be here. Let them go. I'd say it's inhumane to keep them going.
There's one panda in particular that is like the only panda that fucks.
Yeah.
Right.
Billy, look up his
Chad.
name.
No, Chad. He was like the joke was he was the Chad panda.
He was the Chad of the pandas. He fucks all the time. No other panda will fuck, but this dude is responsible for something like 60% of all current living pandas come from his lineage.
Because he's of pandas.
Yeah, he's the Wilt Chamberlain of pandas. He's the only one that fucks, and the rest of them, you're right, Coley. They show no interest. They
do suck at sex.
Listen, I need you to help me help you, pandas.
Right.
Meet me halfway on this one. But respect to whatever his name is. Billy, what's his name?
I found it.
Just Google. Type these words into Google. Horniest panda. And you'll find
exactly
the result.
The panda.
Oh, you saying we gotta euthanize the pandas?
They're trying to do it themselves.
Stud Lulu and Make Z Me completed an 18-minute, 3-second mating session.
Wow, respect.
Oh God, this is the funniest photo ever.
18-man what?
18-minute, 3-second. Who had the stop? Like, did they need to have it that precise? Yeah. Like, they're fucking for like 15, 20. Like, I didn't need the exact time.
Well, he started coming, it looks like, at 17:56, and I'm going to say the last squirt was at 18:03. We're going to call it 18:03.
Look, he lit a cigarette at 18:05, so we knew he was done.
Everyone check the group.
I love it. That panda is getting it in. Dude, that is you know what, Coley?
He's smiling.
I disagree now with your take on pandas because this guy is having the time of his life. That's the happiest animal on earth.
Listen, if he wants to keep it going, I'm all for it. But the rest of them, I'm out on.
They're doing reverse cowgirl.
We're just seeing.
This is not how pandas naturally mate. This is just two pandas that are really good at fucking.
Yeah, these are
regardless of species.
These pandas owe this. So for those listening at home, we got two pandas, reverse cowgirl. This is real.
Yeah.
And then one of the pandas, the male panda.
I think he's reaching around and touching her clit.
Yeah, he's giving a serious O face, and he's
he knows he's killing it.
Yeah, he does. Stroke game is very strong.
Two hands on the love handles. This could be a cartoon.
This is oddly satisfying.
I mean, hearing about all the times giant pandas were going extinct, to see this, it
is good. There's hope.
This is all worth it.
There's hope. Maybe pandas. Their problem is they never see other pandas have sex.
Yeah,
because they've been kind of like low T for such a long time. They don't grow up with any sort of like love interest in their. They don't see representation of love in their society. You know.
She's smiling too. She's like, finally.
The distortion.
We need more panda porn, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. We need to show pandas once they're of age. I don't know at what point do they become adults? That's another big question we have to ask.
Once they stop going down those cute slides, then you can start jamming porn, just Clockwork Orange porn into pandas' eyes.
I don't think they ever stop going down the cute slides, though. I think for life they just do the tumble thing where they do somersaults wherever they go, and then like an adult zookeeper has to help them up.
Oh, it's so funny when, like, turns out in the zoos there's like people who have to make sure the pandas like don't kill themselves by accident, not because they want to, because they keep falling out of trees because they're just so bad at like natural coordination nowadays. So, but hey,
you never hear about pandas attacking people.
I watched like a 20-minute video on bear evolution over the weekend.
It's not a surprise at all.
No, so it turns out bears' closest living relatives today are seals, sea lions. They're not as close to dogs as we think, or cats. They're more of like down the line of seals, sea lions, raccoons, ferrets, mustelids.
What's a mustelid?
Those are like, minks, ferrets, carnivorous weasels, that sort of thing. Wolverines, honey badgers, badgers, those types. So like, yeah.
All right, so, but you didn't answer my question. Do panda bears attack humans ever?
No.
Okay, cool. Are they actually bears?
They are bears, but they're,
because I know the red panda is not a bear. The red panda is more like a raccoon.
Oh, it's a glorified raccoon. Yeah. It's a red raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're communists, is what they are.
Excellent acrobatics, though.
But growler bears, global warming's causing polar bears and grizzly bears to start, interbreeding and creating some crazy hybrids. Like a hunter shot a growler bear, and there was a whole big thing about, was it a polar bear or a grizzly bear? Does his grizzly bear tag, count? And it's crazy.
Billy talks about new bears like I talk about weed strains.
Yes.
I had never heard of Growler Bears. This is wild, actually.
Google it. It's actually, their coloration's pretty weird because they kind of actually look like pandas sometimes because of the differences in colors.
They call it a Pisley?
There's Pisleys, which it depends on who's the mother, who's the father.
Pisley's a bad name. I like Growler Bear.
Growler's much better.
All right, well, that's bear talk. That's the bear necessities on. Yeah.
Like then there's sloth bears.
Okay, we're not done with bear talk.
No, okay. No, but going back to like
somebody hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button.
Going back to our panda bears, like really like bears. But if you check out a sloth bear, you're starting to see that connection between raccoons and bears.
Yeah. What about a sun bear?
Sun bears are just like sloth bears.
They've got that tongue, right?
Yeah, they're kind of soft bears.
They're soft bears.
Yeah, like they're the type of bears that are basically giant raccoons.
I actually think I could kill a panda with my bare hands, an adult panda.
I think
these niggas' tongues are super long. The sun bear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You think I could kill a panda?
No, that nigga.
Oh no, you'd 100%. If you could walk into one of those zoos where they breed them in China and just fuck one up, you could punt one.
Well, not like a baby. I'm not talking about. I could kill a baby of any species in the world.
Cap.
That's not that easy. What you're calling cap?
You could kill a baby of any species in the world.
Name a species.
A baby orca whale could kill you.
Any baby whale. Maybe a baby chimp.
Baby shark.
No, a baby chimp? Are you kidding me, Arian? A baby chimp that weighs like 4 pounds, can't even walk yet.
What about a baby?
Doesn't know how to smoke cigarettes or wear funny hats. I would fuck that thing up.
Any big whale or shark or something like that, I don't think you can get, though.
Sharks are really small when they're born.
Baby elephant. I think a baby elephant would be really hard.
No, I would kill.
They can walk immediately.
But it's so thick.
I would kill a baby elephant. It'd be too trusting. It wouldn't have been jaded by life yet. It would just like come up to me, and I would just drop kick it in its side. It would fall over.
Oh, I think you can actually. Little sharks are pretty small when they're born.
I think.
But don't they still have teeth?
Elephants are sneaky strong as fuck when they're born.
Handheld, like handheld, type shit.
I saw this video.
I would take a baby shark, and I would throw it out of the water onto land. Game over. I win.
Well, baby sharks are like tiny. They're like fish size.
Exactly. So I win. I beat a shark.
Orcas are 8.5 feet and 350 pounds.
Baby orca would fuck you up.
But they're not mean yet. They don't know how to fight.
I think they're born pretty pissed off.
Dude, orca whales kill for fun. Dude, orca whales
don't attack humans, though. They don't attack humans, though.
What if a human's actively attacking them?
Well, they do kill humans.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
They're prison guards.
Is this baby from? Is it of the Tillicum lineage?
Yeah,
it is.
He'd kill you.
Okay, a relative of Tillicum's might kill me.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think I could kill any baby mammal. Wait, a whale's a mammal, isn't it?
Yep.
Any land mammal, any baby land mammal.
I think honestly, I saw this video of like a tourist in Thailand fucking around with a baby elephant, and the baby elephant tossed this chick. So
I would fuck up a tiny baby.
Yeah, what about pony?
Are you talking about like a baby like brand new born?
Yes.
Or are you gonna give him a chance to develop his faculties?
No, it's out the womb and PFT.
6 hours. 6 hours.
6 hours.
You got 6 hours to learn your surroundings.
I'll tell you, I'd spear the shit out of a baby giraffe.
Yeah.
I'd break all its legs.
You would take out its knees?
Yeah, I would form tackle that shit.
No, but you would break all. You would like Greg Schiano it.
Yeah, and then I'd crack its neck, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's what you have to go for is the neck.
I just spear its neck.
I would tie its neck in a knot around itself.
I haven't had a
over.
chance to talk to you since Saturday. I was meeting almost Tennessee head coach Greg Schiano.
Oh, it was great. Got to meet Greg Schiano on Saturday at Rutgers University. He came up, shook my hand, put his hand on my shoulder, said some words to me. I said some words to him. I'll leave that between us.
Love that.
Don't have to talk about an intimate conversation between a couple Schiano men out there. But it was great. It was fun to be at Rutgers. Rutgers is such a funny school, man. I love it. I love it. It's just like it is New Jersey. It is just concentrated New Jersey. And they're 3-0 this year, and they're probably going to get their ass kicked by Michigan next week. But you know what? I don't care. Rutgers is 3-0. And it was on James Gandolfini's 60th birthday.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. The birthplace of college football, the cradle of Gandolfini. And so I was asked to give a speech when I got on stage for the pep rally there. And, well, a couple things happened. So first they brought me, Glenny Balls, and Hank on stage. And then they just had the dance team dance directly next to us for about 2 minutes nonstop. And I'm telling you, my eyes have never been so straightforward, dead ahead in my life, because I knew people out there had cameras, and I didn't want to get like a still frame shot of me just like staring at the girl doing the leg kicks directly to my right. So I was just like eyes straight ahead, focus where you need to focus. The pep rally guy came over to me. He's like, okay, we want you to lead the RU chant. And I said, okay, I can do that. Wait, what's the RU chant? And he says, well, you say R, and then the audience says you. And then you say R, and they say you, and you keep going. I was like, okay, yeah, I can handle that. I got that one pretty easy. And then the alumni got on stage and absolutely cucked me out of my RU chant. They started doing the RU chant, so I didn't know what to do. They handed me the mic. I had to improvise a speech in front of like a couple thousand Rutgers fans. And I mean, what do you say at that point? I emptied the chamber with every single Rutgers fact that I had ready to go. I was just like, the birthplace of college football right here. Crowd goes nuts. James Gandolfini went here. Crowd goes nuts. And then I say I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that it was James Gandolfini's 60th birthday today, or it would have been. And then the crowd just absolutely went totally silent because they got sad. And then I looked around and I was trying to figure out how to raise the level of enthusiasm after bringing everybody down by reminding them that James Gandolfini's dead. I just looked over at Glenny. I thought about just handing the microphone to Glenny and letting him take over from there. But I panicked. I had no idea what to say. So I just go, R! And I get another RU chant going.
Is this recorded somewhere?
Yeah.
Bro, turns out Kodiak bears might have some gene flow of polar bears.
Okay.
And that's why they're so large.
All right. Massive. Well, yeah, then I got to meet Greg Schiano, and I'm sure he was very confused as to why they were having him shake the hand of a guy that looks like me right before a game. But then Rutgers went on. They crushed it. So that was fun.
So I was under the impression that he like knew who you were and your affinity for him. You don't? Do you think somebody told him to?
I don't think Greg Schiano has the internet. I really don't. I think Greg Schiano lives inside.
I think he
Greg
knew.
Schiano's environment. I think somebody at the university told him, like, hey, this is PFT. He does a podcast on Barstool Sports, and he's a big fan of yours. He always talks about being a Schiano man, and then they brought him by. I think I would be shocked if Greg Schiano was like, if he paid attention to podcasts. I think he probably
I don't
thinks
think he listens to the show.
He thinks the internet is a waste of time.
You're not wrong.
He's actually dead right about that. One of many reasons that I'm a Schiano man.
Greatest thing of recent memory is Bo Burnham's "Welcome to the Internet."
Yeah,
have you seen? That's some of the most brilliant shit ever put together. So yes, he's right, but he's wrong as well.
Correct.
Arian, you didn't play against Schiano's Tampa Bay teams, did you?
I do not recall. I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know.
If you were winning in the fourth quarter and you were kneeling the clock out, they would have dove at your knees. That was kind of his. That was his invention.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah,
I think he did that to the Giants. I don't think he did that to the Texans.
Nah, I remember hearing about it though. I don't remember who was the coach. I think 2011 was when we played Tampa.
He was there 12 and 13.
So 2011 would that be who was prior to was that Gruden?
No. He was Dirk Cutter was after him.
Dirk Cutter was afterwards. Yeah.
I think I played him in 2011.
Was that Lovey? Or was Lovey still in Chicago?
I think Chicago.
Yeah.
Hang on.
The defensive back?
It was Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris, that's right.
Yep. Okay, yeah.
They gave him like one season, right?
He was there for 3 years, actually.
3 years? Oh.
9 to 11, yeah.
All right, well, unless Billy has any more bear facts, I want to move on to one more thing before we get into the meat of today's show. The topic will be prostitution. We're talking Tutes today, as Coley put in the group chat. Talking Tutes. We'll get to it in just one second. Before we do, though, an update on the ongoing feud with Son of a Boy Dad. We've received, I don't want to use the person's name, but it's somebody that works on the show that has sent me a couple DMs recently kind of outlining what they're dealing with in the work environment over there on Son of a Boy Dad. So I'm going to read this off. It's anonymous. You can probably figure out, if you listen to the show, you can figure out probably who it would be that would send something like this. But just, these are some DMs I've gotten, kind of a collection of stories from some of their fans that have been sent to their producer. Sorry, not their producer. They're the person who works on this show that's obviously not happy with them. When I was 15, Lil Sasquatch was doing a contest of fans making a bust of him and sending it to him. Danielle Acevita wrote alongside a picture of her painting the Lil Sasquatch replica. I worked so hard on this and even wrote her a letter. Weeks later, she used it as a prop in a game. He used it as a prop in a game and gave it away to a random person with $500 attached to the bottom. Just giving away fan art that their fans are sending in to them. It's kind of sad. Here's somebody that worked at a local restaurant here. I worked on 7th Avenue, and I saw Roan at brunch. Roan wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my chipped nail polish, not that was on his plate, but just that it was on my hand. I had worked till closing the night before, and this was the next morning. He almost got me fired. Oh my God. When my restaurant manager sat me down and asked if I had served Roan at brunch, I was actually pumped because I thought maybe he'd want to use me for a bit on their show. I'm an actress and a comedian. At that time, it would have loved a break, but alas, it wasn't that. I was just so surprised that Roan would take time out of his day to be negative to someone who served him, who was obviously on a lower position than him and also probably an artist of some kind. It was just petty and cruel and short-sighted on his part. And for what? To put out negative and harmful energy to others. This is just, I got so many of these stories sent to me. Apparently, Lil Sass has a very sensitive nose, and that's well known around Son of a Boy Dad. And if you're going to be talking to him in the studio, he makes you chew gum from a bowl that he keeps outside the studio before saying a word. And if he thinks that you smell that day, he will tell you to leave, go home and shower because his nose is so sensitive. And they obviously, you know, we've all heard the stories about how he picks someone new every day to hate on his staff, and it's not their fault. You just have to suck it up for the day, and then he'll be mean to someone else the next day. And you know, people don't believe it when they first start working on this podcast, but it ends up becoming extremely true, is what I've heard from people.
It's crazy the turnover rate of the staff of that show.
Yeah,
how many people get hired then leave?
Yeah, and
that's a little suspicious.
And they joke around about a lot of stuff, but then some things are like really off limits. Like, I know that Sass is overly sensitive to jokes about animals because he had been, you know, a vegan in the past. Yeah. And so, you can't even joke about animals around him. Damn. Because he takes it seriously. And I guess he cares about animals, which is good, but he's very sensitive. So I heard that someone tried to show him a funny viral video, and way in the distance, you could barely hear a dog barking. He'll scream at you and say, "Can't you hear that animal is in distress? Why did you show me this?" And then he'll kick them out. Damn. So just wanted to share some things that have been sent along to us about Son of a Boy Dad. Those aren't about Ellen DeGeneres. Those are about Son of a Boy Dad. So yeah, just, you know, food for thought. I know we've got a feud or whatever going on, but I was once told, don't get into an argument with a fool, because from a distance, no one will be able to tell the two apart. So I will not be arguing with Son of a Boy Dad. And that's that. All right, prostitutes.
I don't even know who them niggas is.
I know, but Arian, I do love how online you were like, I'm ready to go.
We riding. If y'all riding, I'm riding, man. So I'm good.
Yep. Don't worry. I think they weigh a combined 170 pounds. So
don't matter.
Yeah, we got. I think this might be is this the biggest podcast at this company?
No, we're tied.
Who? No, I'm not talking about numbers, Billy.
No, I'm saying person-wise.
Person-wise? I'm talking about like BMI, like
girth,
like mass.
It's gotta be.
With the exception of myself, Mad Dog, and Avery, we got some big boys on this show.
Units. Do they do a podcast?
They don't do a podcast.
What are you weighing in at now, Arian?
She's about like 230.
230.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arian can still do some damage. I think Arian might be able to beat up everybody at this company except for Willie Colon.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the only Barstool Breakfast.
Yeah.
Large, Willie, jet ski.
Arian could take large. Willie is just, if you ever see Willie when he moves quickly, and it's rare that he gets into that mode where he feels he should run somewhere, but it's genuinely terrifying watching Willie Colon run at like 6'6" and probably 375, 380 pounds. It scares me to see him move.
Yeah, there was one day he was like, where I was like trying to block him, and he was going like, I don't know, 25%. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yeah, this is not liking your playing days. And then he just picked me up. And I can't describe to you, and I'm sure Big T and Arian and probably Billy, although Billy's not as like cumbersome. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the last time another human being had picked me up.
Yeah.
The point I was trying, I'm pretty sure I've picked you up, PFT. I've picked up a lot of. It's just a thing I do.
Start crying because being a child.
Just a strange feeling to be like, I know how much I weigh. Like, it's not an easy weight to just lift. And Willie did it without like really even thinking twice about it.
The first time I met Willie, I'm 6'6" and a big dude. The shaking his hand was terrifying. Like, he's just, I don't know the word to, like, you see these guys on TV and you're like, yeah, those guys are big. He's just like, it's crazy.
The biggest dude I've ever met, who I literally was like, this guy is a house, Kyle Long. He is the largest human I've ever met, who I just was like, whoa.
Crazy strong.
Not only is he tall, he is wide.
We were talking about ages on Twitter yesterday, which I'm sure Big T saw. He hated every second of it. But someone brought it up and they were like, I know this doesn't really apply, but it never makes sense in my brain that Julio Jones and Steph Curry are the same height.
That's actually wild when you think about it.
Right, like Steph, you think of him as like a little guy, and then he stands next to any football player, and it's like, why is he towering over Cam Newton? How does this happen? What's going on here?
That one is more fair than just picking a midpoint between 2 years.
Right, but it's like, I mean, it's all about perspective, obviously, but it's true. Like, I don't think people genuinely understand how big NBA players are until you're like near them.
Wait. Cam Newton is definitely bigger than Steph Curry.
They're like the same. I think Cam
Steph
6'3",
yeah, Steph Curry is 6'3", and Cam
like 6'5".
is 6'5".
Yeah, Cam's 6'5".
I do think that 6'3" is like NBA players get measured when they're in college and then really never again. I don't think Steph's that short anymore and hasn't been for a while.
Russell Westbrook also in my mind is short.
Yeah.
Right. And he's how tall are you, Billy? Like 6'4"?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are probably looking eye to eye.
You know who is tall? I mean, who is small? Is Chris Paul.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like 5'11".
Well, we had the same dentist, and I walked in. I was like, damn, you really?
Wait, so like you walked into the dentist's office, he was like sitting in the waiting room reading copies of like Highlights magazine.
Bowling Monthly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was reading anything, but yeah, I mean, nigga gotta go to the dentist too, man. What you think? A personal dentist pull up to the crib and take out a wisdom tooth, nigga?
That doesn't sound unreasonable to me.
Yeah,
for the amount of money
NBA
he's
contract. He's
making.
getting 45 this year.
That would be ridiculous, dog. Like nobody is that famous, dog, except for Michael Jackson.
Yeah. And his doctor didn't do a great job on him either. So.
His dentist.
We have one fuck up. A perfect streak going until then.
We don't know about his dentist. His dentist could have been.
Yeah, he looked like he had solid teeth.
I gotta go to the dentist.
Yeah, dentist. You know what? I disagree with you, Arian. I think that if I made a shitload of money, I would want the old-timey doctor and dentist to show up at my house with the metal circle thing on his forehead and the leather bag that he carries with him inside with all of his doctor tools. I would want that.
That should be whack, because your house probably not sanitary. It's not a good workstation for him. So he's doing like a subpar job because you want an exclusive dentist experience. That's not it. That's not smart.
When his current contract ends in 2025, Chris Paul will have made almost $500 million playing basketball. That's a reasonable amount to have a personal dentist.
Yeah, I think so.
You make $500 million, you can have a house call.
Well, he doesn't, nigga. Me and him in the same dentist.
If I ever made a ton of money, I don't see my my tastes changing. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? They'll absolutely change.
Yeah.
No, but
absolutely change.
Like
I'm telling you.
Like,
because you'll realize. No, that's not a taste.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think I'd be extra with like self-care just because.
I thought you meant like with wine you drink or something. I don't know. Talking about what dentist you have.
Yeah, what are you saying? Billy is saying like if he was a millionaire, he would not go to the dentist more frequently than he does now.
Yeah,
I agree. Yes, I agree with that.
That's reasonable. I mean, I don't really go to the dentist like that.
Yeah,
that's reasonable.
Yeah, I haven't been to the dentist in a couple years. Pandemic was tough on dentists, huh?
Yeah,
no one wants to go.
Matter of fact, I might have it on my phone. They used to send me texts like yo, it's time for your dentist appointment. This was like still pandemic. I used to send a little virus emoji with the dude going like this. I refused. I need to. It's been about 2 years since I've been. It's about that time.
Yeah.
If you brush and floss regularly, though, you don't need to do it.
Are you really flossing?
Yeah, I floss.
You don't
floss?
You get the floss out. You floss.
Really, grow up and floss, nigga. We floss
every day, though.
You every day.
Pretty much every day, yeah. Especially after you eat a meal, like this shit gets stuck in your teeth. So you just got that you gonna have right.
No, well, I get a toothpick. Like if I go to like I'm eating a steak and I got food between my teeth.
floss, man. I guarantee you got some shit in there, bro. Just floss.
Get the stick.
Why are you like anti-floss? You asked us like, do you really?
No, I'm just like, oh, are you flossing every day? And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of with Billy.
Who the hell is actually flossing?
I floss once. I floss once a week.
I do mouthwash when I buy it and brush my teeth twice a day.
But why are you so against flossing?
I don't know, because I just like it's like you're full of shit. You don't floss every day.
I think
Billy, hygienist is talking to me.
Billy
like,
thinks that the dentists are out to get him.
Whoa! Back it up, Billy. How did you just say hygienist?
Hygienist.
Hygienist.
I like hygienist.
That's hygienist. How do you say that?
You said hygienist.
Hygienist.
Yeah, that's not how you said it the first time, though.
Throw back the tape. I nailed that
Floss,
one.
Billy. Go floss, Billy.
Okay.
Also, speaking of... Oh, go.
No, go ahead.
Speaking of doctors for Billy, some guy left a voicemail saying that he had the same issue Billy did and got diagnosed with diabetes, like 6 months later.
Damn.
Wow, Billy.
So you might want to hit one up sooner.
You gotta go see a doc. You have to go see a doctor, bro. Like, I don't know. Like,
fucking diabetes.
No, like you always talking about something like you don't go to the doctor and shit.
Billy's-
No, I haven't gone to the doctor because my pediatrician kicked me out.
That's not a.
I haven't seen him in 3 years. He's like, this is my checkups. Hey, doc. And he's like, yeah, you haven't been in for an appointment. Like, is there anything pressing? I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, you're good.
He was just giving you. I would.
Top-notch doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you weren't even going in for your appointment.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, I like have
That's not a
sore
doctor's appointment. That's
I have a
just
sore
that's
throat.
Just calling somebody on the phone.
He would just he would just like, if I ever needed like a prescription, he'd like send me, he'd like refer me to like the dermatologist when I was like, doc, there's something on my wrists. And
Ivermectin, scabies.
Ivermectin, scabies.
Yeah. Okay.
So
You just call up your doctor. Hey, doc, I got a sore throat. He's like, oh, dude, that sucks.
yeah.
All right. You should go see a real doctor. So prostitutes.
Oh yeah.
Before we get into the Tutes talk, we want to talk to you guys about our great friends over at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep has a quiz. It takes just 2 minutes to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way that you sleep. Here's the deal with mattresses. I dealt with lower back pain, really bad lower back pain, for about the last year and a half, 2 years. Turns out it could all be easily fixed by sleeping on a mattress that was better for my back, that matched the way that I slept, that matched my body. I switched mattresses. Now I sleep like a baby. I wake up in the morning, no back pain whatsoever, and it's because of Helix. I took the Helix quiz. I got matched with the model that I wanted because I wanted something that felt a little firmer and would help my back out. My mattress that I had was way too soft at the time. Got something slightly firmer. Now I'm sleeping amazingly at night. I'm able to get up in the morning. I can go for a run. I can go work out at the gym. I can do whatever I want. I feel so much better, and it's because I've got a good mattress right now. So if you go to helixsleep.com/dose, you just take their 2-minute sleep quiz. They're going to match you to a customized mattress. It's going to give you the best sleep of your life. They even have a 10-year warranty, so you get to try it out for 100 nights, risk-free. Then they'll pick it up for you if you don't love it. Plus, on top of that, you get that 10-year warranty. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders, and you get 2 free pillows just for our listeners when you go to helixsleep.com/dose. That's helixsleep.com/dose, DOSE. Up to $200 off, 2 free pillows. We love Helix. You'll love it too. Check them out, helixsleep.com/dose. Prostitutes, the world's oldest profession, which right off the bat, cap. That's cap. I don't think it's the world's oldest profession at all.
Well, actually,
It literally is.
No.
dude, they trained monkeys how to use money.
I've seen that.
And the first thing they did was give it to other monkeys to have sex
Yeah,
with them.
because you're a monkey. What else are you gonna do?
Well, yeah,
what else are you gonna spend your money on?
We were monkeys before we were
They
humans.
don't have cars.
That's not entirely true.
They don't gamble on sports.
We weren't monkeys.
Before we were humans?
No, bro. We were cousins of monkeys.
Well, if you go back,
We were never monkeys.
okay, but
Right.
we're cousins of monkeys.
No
but
fucking technically. This is literally the argument creationists use to say if we were monkeys, why are there still monkeys?
No, we are no. Okay, so we were
I think you just made that up.
we were.
Didn't just make that up. It's literally evolutionary biology, my nigga.
I know, but like. We had a common ancestor
There
who
you
looked
go.
a lot like a monkey, and probably.
But it's not a monkey.
And
Though.
if I know, but for the sake of people who don't know about
you can't-
Lucy and
We're a
Australopithecus,
very scientifically responsible podcast. We gotta make sure.
I've also heard Lucy was a fraud, though, right?
no Lucy.
No, Lucy was real. I thought
but
Lucy was real.
One of those was a fraud.
Our common ancestor, if we taught him how to use money, they would 100% just use it for sex. That was my point.
Maybe yours. Mine doesn't have to pay for it.
We're all one human species.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't think it is the world's oldest profession, and I'll tell
What
you
is?
why.
All right, if you're gonna assert it, you have to give us what you think it is.
Chef. I think cook. I think people would give money for other people's food before they gave money for fucking.
No, you know why? Because they were eating. The monkeys just ate off the trees. The monkeys don't have chefs.
But if there's a monkey that's got
Going back to monkeys.
We weren't monkeys. You gotta stop.
Okay, our common ancestor used to eat raw food and just be gatherers. There was no cooking. They didn't invent fire.
Let's just say that our common ancestor collected a shitload of almonds one day.
Yeah.
And here comes another common ancestor, and they're hungry because they don't have any almonds. Their almond supplies are negligible. And so they're walking down the little path in the jungle, and sure, they might be a little bit horny, but guess what? They're hungry. What are you going to do? You're going to pay money for...
Nut for nut.
Hey,
Nut for nut.
Can I get that almond?
They like, no. You give me nut, and then I give you nut.
I get it. I get the joke.
Well, yeah, you didn't have
See,
to explain
boom.
it.
It's a good joke.
Prostitution.
Billy, you had a banger and you fucked it up, man.
Okay.
You
just
had a
kept
bang-
going.
That was a good joke.
No, I was showing that the
know
exchange
what?
of goods, nut for nut.
I'll actually...
Well, no, PFT, my argument would be you would probably just kill that guy and take his nuts. There wasn't like a civil discourse about like, oh, I'll trade you for your nuts. Like it was just murder.
Well, then, okay, so there
So
probably
you're saying
wasn't...
the first barter was food for food and not for sex.
I think that there were probably people, like early people, that developed massive amounts of food. They would have like a storage place of food. Maybe their crops were really good. They were awesome at planting. They were good farmers. I think that people were probably more likely to pay money for food than they were for sex overall.
No.
But was anyone solo back then? Or I feel like everyone was grouped up.
Primates.
Yeah, we were
Primates habitually over the course of weeks or months exchange food for sex indirectly.
I agree, but I think this is more of a chicken and an egg scenario. Which came first? Because you need food and you need sex. Well,
But
you need sex.
the thing is,
it is a top priority desire.
They're not too worried about variety when survival is their one thing.
But I don't think survival was their one thing.
Well, my thought would have been it would have been a barter of sex for shelter, not even necessarily food, because shelter was also a necessity.
All right, so if you look at Maslow's pyramid for the hierarchy of needs, we're going to get real deep into this shit right now.
That's actually a fire low reference. Go ahead.
The physiological needs are at the very bottom. It's the base. What you need, first of all, in order to live a productive life, the thing that people look for first are their physiological needs, which include food, water, warmth, and rest. Next up is safety. So that would be security. Next up, on top of that, intimate relationships and friends. So at the bottom, the very basic level of the pyramid of needs, as told by Maslow, is that you have to have food, water, warmth, and rest. So I would assume that the world's oldest profession would be either a farmer or a cook or a chef or maybe somebody that's just got an extra room.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying I do think that the psychoanalysis of his pyramid does not necessarily extend to our ancestors. That's more of in our current society, which he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. In order to prosper, that pyramid should look like that, to have a functioning, healthy emotional state. Mm-hmm. But I think when you're dealing with early primates that didn't have the cognitive reflection that we do, I think sex was huge. Like, I think it was like a primal drive. It's literally the reason why we're here is because they were driven to have sex. So I don't see there being a good reason as to say that it wasn't a big part of any kind of trade.
Mm-hmm. So
reproduction was higher up. That was more necessary. Like, you needed more numbers in order to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think when prostitution first got started, people were paying money because they wanted to reproduce? Like, they wanted to have a kid, and it's like, hey, I will pay you $20 if you'll fuck me and I can give you a kid. Because I feel like that would be a major, like, price just went way up. Like, you want me to fuck you and have a child? Was there ever, like, reproduction tied to prostitution, or was it all just, like, straight up recreation?
Well, prostitution amongst animals, which is a very well-studied subject, because it occurs amongst Adelie penguins, chimpanzees, bonobos, and other primates. But the act of bringing stuff to the mate to impress them, be it birds, is a huge factor in reproduction.
Or just wearing a cool watch. That doesn't make it prostitution, though. If you, like, show up wearing a sick, like, you got a Richard Mille, and you show up and then you get laid that night,
but you don't give it to them.
I think that's a bad analogy. The better analogy is like buying her heels or something like that. Buying her a purse, something like that. Yeah. But as an OG told me a long time ago, you don't pay a prostitute to have sex. You pay a prostitute to leave.
Fact. Yep. Get out. Get it, Billy? Billy's doing the math right now on that.
Yeah, Billy, you ain't had an OG tell you that yet, but you're welcome, man.
So who knows if it was actually the world's oldest profession, but it's definitely
great branding, though.
It is. It's a good slogan.
Great branding.
It's like you see some restaurants that say, like, the world's or the like the state's
pizza shop in the world.
The state's oldest continually run bakery, meaning like it's only been around for 40 years, but the other bakery across town had to close down for like 2 weeks when they got the flu back in 1980. You know, but it's very good branding for the biz. It also makes it sound a little bit classier when you're like, you know what, like literally everyone in the history of Earth has done what I'm about to do, and that's drive to Staten Island and pay $15 for a hand job. It's ingrained in my DNA. All right, you can't blame me for that.
It sounded very specific.
No, I wouldn't know.
You record, I recall.
Cards on the table. I've never paid for sex. If you have, no judgment. I know a lot of people listening might have gone to a massage parlor or whatever. I know people that have. Just seems, I don't know. Seems like it was never something that appealed to me. I didn't really get it. I guess I'm old school. For me, part of the joy of fucking is the person wants to fuck you, and not just because you pay them. But I guess some prostitutes really, you know, they like the relationship. I'm not here to judge about anything like that either. Just
you're the Calipari son, earned not given.
Yeah, exactly. But has anybody? You don't have to say, but if you want to say, anybody ever paid for it?
I think sex work. You know, I'm progressive, man. So I think sex work is nothing to be shunned. I think this is a hot take. I think it should be legal. I think it should be regulated so that you can go to a clinic and you can get whatever female of your choice. If she is willing, then you can look at her STD history and make sure that they can get regularly tested. It would just be a much more safe environment. Because it's gonna happen. Like anything that you black market is gonna be there. So I say all that to say, yes, I have participated in the sex workforce. It's been a long time.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But I don't think it should be shunned. I think it should be legal. It should be regulated. That way also you cut down a lot on a serious note, right? You cut out of the business of the underground world of it, and that will cut down child sex trafficking. Is what the real issue I see with sex work is, especially globally. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
the Nordic model, as they call it, is the persecution of sex traffickers as opposed to sex workers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's like trying
the Johns, which is the proper term for like, or the Madames.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, how'd you say that?
No, I like it. The Madames. Billy speaking English is like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards trying to speak Italian.
Gorlamo.
That's technically a French word, to be fair to Billy.
Madame.
Madams. Yeah.
So that's the words for like people who like are the head honchos of the brothels.
Pimps.
Johns yes.
Billy.
Johns I'm
Johns
wrong.
Johns are not the head honchos of the brothel. Johns are the people that show up And
the customers.
The customers, yes.
Yes. The pimps
are
and
the madams. Madams?
And the prostitutes are the employees. So
Yes.
they don't persecute the employees, they persecute the bosses.
Okay. I like that. I agree with Arian. I think that it should be legalized. I think that people that choose that line of work should be empowered. It should be regulated. And you should essentially work for yourself if you want to, or you can work at a business that will set you up with everything that you need to do your job. And if you feel safe, secure, and you bring it out of the darkness into the light, I think that makes it safer for everybody involved. So I don't see a problem with it. The counter argument would be if it's readily available, then you're going to see like the destruction of the family unit, and it's going to be more tempting for people. If you're the kind of guy that's going to go to see a prostitute because it's legal, you definitely would have done it if it was illegal. You know, like I don't think that's stopping anybody from doing it.
I think OnlyFans is gonna I feel like it's much more profitable to be an OnlyFans person than a prostitute.
They're trying to clean up the image now. I think they're taking pornography off of their website, which to me is whack as hell because you branded yourself as like that. Number one, number two, you're taking a lot of like revenue from a lot of people who depended on that, and that sucks. And then one of the funnier things is I follow this girl who is a Twitch streamer. She's like super family friendly. I'm talking about she doesn't curse on her stream. Like when I first got into Twitch, we had got up. But anyway, she sent a email that OnlyFans sent her and said, would you like to have content on OnlyFans? And I'm talking about she's like super family friendly. Like she doesn't curse. She's like, hi guys, like that kind of thing, right? And like I guess they're trying to like rebrand with all kind of like family friendly content, which is insane to me. You're like a porno site. It is what it is.
I did a bit where I had an OnlyFans called Billy Feetball. I literally just created the account as a joke, and then I made the subscription like super expensive because I never thought anyone would actually buy it. And like it was like a joke, and then like 3 people actually bought it. And then
how much was it?
It was like $100. I was like, no one's gonna buy this shit.
And so then you had to upload feet pics.
Yeah, but I had like one as a joke. It was just a picture of my fucking like sweaty ass size 14 foot.
Billy's a sex worker.
But turns out there's a supply, there's a demand for that sort of stuff. So weird.
Where's the account at now?
I deleted it. It was getting too weird. Because then the subscribers got very angry that I wasn't posting any more content because it was a joke, and I didn't actually think that people would pay for
$100, man. That's a lot of feet that they expected.
I want to talk real quick about the Temple of Aphrodite at Acrocorinth. I think it's Acrocorinth.
Huh.
What?
Terrible pronunciation.
How do you say it, Billy?
Should work on it.
How do you say it, Billy?
Let me check it out.
Yeah. All right, get back to me on that one. Is that on your fact sheet? Do you have this place on your fact sheet?
I know what you're going to...
Okay, but Billy hasn't, just for the record, Billy has not passed out a fact sheet since he got into the fact off of Big T. I think Billy's been scared away from doing fact sheets.
I may be hoarding.
Anymore. But the Temple of Aphrodite is, it's an ancient temple that, I guess it honored, obviously, Aphrodite, and it was around the city of Corinth. And what would happen there is every young woman, I'm trying to get the exact time frame, it looks like it was around 44 BC is where they built this temple. And in the surrounding town, every woman would have to stop by this temple and become a prostitute. And essentially the rule was you show up, men stop by late at night after drinking their wine or whatever, and they see all these women, they throw whatever denomination of money they please into the woman's lap. She takes the man, they have sex, she no longer has to live at that temple. It's essentially freeing her. So it's one of the first written down examples of prostitution in the history of the world. Now, there would be women that would not have men pay for them immediately, so they would have to live at the temple until you get fucked, until you get a John to come pick you up. So there were some women that these poor women had to live there for years at a time because they just weren't getting selected to get laid, and there were some women that would just show up, they're in, they're out in like 3 hours. But it was every woman in town had to go through that process as they became a woman. That was like their rite of passage into womanhood. That just would have sucked if you were one of the women that showed up and then you're like, come on, can someone just please have sex with me so I can leave, so I don't have to be a prostitute any longer?
Yeah, there's a couple examples of these temples that practice sacred prostitution as like a sacrifice to some sort of god.
This was sacred prostitution to Aphrodite, so that's why it wasn't like there wasn't a going rate for whatever the prostitutes cost. It was just, okay, this is a donation that you're making to the god.
Yeah, it was like Mesopotamia had it too, ancient Greece. But you can kind of see how, you know, like it wasn't the best system, and something like Christianity with super strict laws came about just like to sort of put a curb on. Like,
I actually think that priests should be allowed to use prostitutes.
All right.
I think they should. I think it's weird as shit that priests they say that they are no longer sexual, that they have like no physical urges, they're dedicated to God, and that's fine. You can think that, but you're also a human, and the strongest desire that you have is to procreate. I think repressing all that shit leads to some really bad situations. Let them just go get their rocks off. Doesn't have to be an emotional transaction. Let them have a little bit of a release, because I think that we've seen over the past, several thousand years, that the system that we have in place right now isn't really working out that well for a lot of them. And I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying it's a significant enough margin where maybe it's time to just explore letting them fulfill the one thing that their brain is programmed to do above all else.
I am a fan of priests getting their rocks off.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a story, because monks have to abstain too as well, right?
Yeah, monks like abstain from talking sometimes. They
right.
abstain from a lot of stuff.
But to my knowledge, and maybe this is a story waiting to explode, but they've never had anything like the Catholic Church has.
The monks, because they live in their monasteries and on top of mountains, so I think if a monk goes crazy, they just end up wiping out the monks that are around them. It's an unforgiving environment, essentially. So
monks just aren't exposed to children as compared, like, going to Catholic school my whole life. You're exposed to priests a lot.
Yeah, that's what's kind of weird. Is like, imagine if the monks, they're like, hey, okay, to be fair to them, they're just out in the forest of Bavaria making their beer, and just as far as I know, they just like copy books barehanded all day. They just write what's in different books in another book. I've only seen like 4 movies in my life, and that's all I've seen. But imagine if they're like, hey, you know what's a great idea? Why don't we just get a bunch of kids around for a while? I know that we're not like allowed to have kids of our own, but what if we took other people's kids and made them live with us for a while? That would send up some red flags, I would think, right?
Big ones.
Yeah.
Just in a like little Google search, and I don't have any verifications, but just it would be not fun. It would be interesting to look into. But like, yeah, there's some scandals with Buddhist monks and like child sex trafficking, stuff like that. Like, I think it's just what it like. I think it's probably a little less prevalent. There's a little less eyes on them. One, but two, I think the practice is a little different as well. But yeah, I think just in general, sexual repression is a huge issue. It's like 100 billion. Porn is $100 billion industry. So to pretend like humans, like, I mean, think about it, like I released a music project, right? So I was happy the other day when I saw one of my songs on Spotify went over 100,000 views, right, or 100 listens or whatever, right? That's like a little milestone to celebrate, right? Like, you go on Pornhub and there's like every single video is like 700,000 views, 3 million views, and it's just like it's like all of them have like, so it's like people are way more into porn than we like to believe. It is a huge business, and sex in general is just a taboo topic that shouldn't be, because if the less we otherize it, the more we can just start to come to grips with the fact that we just be fucking. Everybody's fucking everybody, and it just is what it is.
I'm looking for the stat right now, but I remember hearing in a class in college that Facebook, Netflix, and Pornhub account for half of the traffic at any given time on the internet. Like half the people who are on the internet are on one of those 3 sites at any given time.
Well, going back,
Facebook where?
Facebook, Netflix, and Pornhub.
Jesus Christ.
So going back to the monks, turns out a lot of the monks would brew a lot of beer, and that was one of the things they did. And they used to brew beers specifically with super hoppy tastes to suppress the younger monks' libido and sex drive. So that's where the take IPAs give you tits. There's like historical precedent to that.
That's your take.
No, it's on the internet.
It's on the internet.
PFT, it's on the web.
I'm sorry, I did not realize
the monks would notice that the monks who would go out and harvest the hops would start developing estrogenic features such as tits.
Wouldn't that make them hornier towards the monks that just got a nice rack?
No, because the monks who got the rack would be just basically like chemically castrated.
Can you just do a quick, just a cursory Google search to see if the story about IPAs being developed to make monks less horny is remotely true? It might be, and I'll be the first to admit if Billy's right on this.
No, they did.
It's setting off my
monks.
Billy alarm.
No, because they would have all these dudes who got sent to the monasteries as young men, and they were all just horned up. So the monks were like, we gotta like make super hoppy beers with the phytoestrogens to make them all like chill out.
So it was the ultimate bros before hoes. It was bros before hoes potion.
Yeah.
It's like we just gotta make some beer and just chill.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of breastfeeding mothers drink super hoppy beers.
Is that true too?
Yes.
You're not.
I don't know if that's. I don't think you're supposed to breastfeed while you're drinking.
The best
period.
beers for breastfeeding moms.
I have not heard that, but
Yeah, you're
It's a
supposed to
thing.
like limit your alcohol consumption while you're breastfeeding.
You can pump and dump. You can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but that'll make your child drunk.
No, there's like
All right, if you're listening to this podcast and you're a new mother and you're breastfeeding, don't take Billy's advice for breastfeeding. I know you might want
dark beers to boost. I drank dark beer for a week to boost my milk supply.
Okay, so you're reading a mommy blog?
Because it increases prolactin, which causes.
Wait, yeah. I'm not a beer person. What's the connection between hops and your libido?
It's like hops are what they put in the beer to make it taste,
right.
but like it's really bad for men.
Why?
Because it gives them zero libido and like testosterone.
So if you're like a big IPA guy, you have like no sex drive?
Basically.
That's not true.
That is 100%.
It's definitely not true.
But that's what he's trying to say.
Girls, if your boyfriend drinks IPAs, you should leave your boyfriend.
Just the first fucking thing I Googled. We've reported in the past that the best alcohol for sex is red wine, but we've now discovered there might be a different boozy beverage that's ideal for arousal. Beer, specifically beer with hops. Hops contain plant estrogen called phytoestrogen.
For women.
Huh?
For women.
That's for women?
Yeah.
I think as long as you're not drinking IPAs as your only liquid intake, your sex drive's probably going to be just fine. I don't think having like one Sierra Nevada is going to be like, well, can't get it up anymore. Sorry. No fucking.
You shouldn't be drinking IPAs anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for other reasons.
Yeah.
They're just not, they don't taste that good.
Oh, where's the article?
I need a source on this. I found the article you're talking about, Billy, but the source is looking real spotty, man. Find me like
What's
article,
the source?
A peer-reviewed article. The source, so the article was vinepair.com, was where they were talking about the women getting increased estrogen from the hops. And then it says, according to Renegade Health, which you go to that link and click it, it's literally renegadehealth.com by Frederick Patnud, and there's no research behind this, and that page is not even there. So like their reference isn't there. I'm interested. Like I would love to hear you out, but I
it's just there's bullshit. But the thing is there's a lot of phytoestrogens in hops which are said to bring more estrogen into your body, because it mimics estrogen.
I'm saying that it's not that I don't believe you, right? I'm just, if you could find me a legitimate source, it would allow me to have a more valid opinion on this.
I did not know we would
right now I don't see
start talking about monks and.
You're right.
So
when you get a chance, my
it.
dog, when you get a chance, just let me know, because I'm interested. It would be interesting, because from what I know, like beer, like it. What if I forget the
herbs to help reduce libido? Okay, so this is the Independent. We're all familiar with the idea of beer bellies, but your love of a cold one with the lads maybe could be affecting your body in another way. India Pale Ales, it turns out, can contribute to a man developing man boobs, or gynecomastia, as they're officially known.
So wait, what source was this?
It was the Independent.
Please, I gotta register to continue reading.
Just look up the bodybuilding.com forums.
Okay, it's Testosterone Nation. It's testosteronenation.com.
Testosteronenation.com. All right.
Yeah.
And it had a whole article on this.
Okay, a whole article. I think there's probably something to the fact where if you drink too many IPAs, you're probably going to put on some fatty deposits. Some of them might happen to be located around your tits. I think there's probably some truth to that. But I don't think that, like, drinking IPAs is going to make you sterile.
No, but that's how they used to, like, keep the monks from stop fucking each other.
By getting them too drunk to fuck.
Yeah.
That's the Kennedy motto, too.
They just give them all ED.
Yeah.
Sorry about that excursion, and I couldn't find any proper information on it.
Okay. Anyways, back to Tutes. Back to prostitutes. They keep referring to it as, when you hear people talk about prostitutes, they refer to illicit sex, the illicit sex trade. Is there such thing as licit? Like licit sex? Doesn't the word illicit imply that there is a counter to that?
Like wholesome?
Licit is a word.
Licit is a word.
It's the definition is not forbidden or lawful.
There we go. Lawful sex, licit sex.
Well, isn't that? But that.
Yeah, they're lawful.
Yeah, illicit is like not legal.
Well,
So
isn't licit sex just like
regular sex?
regular
Consensual.
sex, consensual sex?
A consensual regular sex between two adults of age.
And I was going back through the history of the Tutes, and one of the more interesting things that I read was what was on the walls in certain buildings in Pompeii. Have you guys seen any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So Pompeii, the ancient Roman city that was destroyed by Mount Vesuvius, right, Billy?
Yep.
They liked to have a good time in Pompeii. They were gentlemen of leisure in that
What
town.
happens in Pompeii stays in Pompeii.
Exactly, yes. It was the Vegas of Italy. And there were a lot of bathhouses in Pompeii. And on the walls of these bathhouses, because they had to deal with travelers that were coming in from other cities, other towns, maybe other nation states, what have you, they might not all speak the same language. So on the walls of different rooms in the bathhouse, they just had murals painted of what they could get in that room. So there was one mural where it was just like girl on top. There was one mural that was guy on top. There was one mural that was a guy behind a girl on all fours, and then another guy behind the guy who was behind the girl on all fours. There was one where it was just a guy going down on a girl, which I guess is something you could pay for. I can't think of a bigger waste of money. And
How do you know who was paying for who?
that's a good point, Billy.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
the doctor was a woman.
Well, if turns out the prostitute was a man. You
Yeah.
sexist fuck.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the picture that I looked at, the woman is very attractive, and the guy is like some tiny little mangy-looking dude.
That's probably what she likes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not that far-fetched, though, when you think about it. I mean, literally, because the pandemic is when OnlyFans really popped off, right? Mm-hmm. And I was mad confused as to why dudes were subscribing to females posting pics. I'm like, fam, porn is free online, right? So it's like, dudes, I would consider it something like that. It's like a very simp move to pay a woman to perform cunnilingus on her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys consider OnlyFans cheating if you have a significant other?
Hell yeah.
I haven't
Absolutely.
I haven't given it that much thought, but yeah,
Wait.
probably.
Like different than just watching porn?
Consuming
It's very different.
or doing?
Giving someone money.
Consuming.
good
Because you're
question,
giving
Billy.
it to like
You're
you are actively
giving-
paying.
So you're
If
saying
you're paying the subscription for a Bella Danger or Lana Rose or whoever's on OnlyFans, if you're paying $15 a month to specifically consume their content on OnlyFans.
Couple things. I think.
Well, yeah. Hold on. I need some. Go ahead. You first, and then I ask.
I was gonna say if it's a bona fide star, if it's like a Bella Danger, I feel like that's a little bit different. If it's
Okay.
if it's like a girl that lives in an apartment complex
In Wichita, Kansas.
in Wichita, Kansas, and she's got 5 followers, that to me feels like it's cheating because there is that like
the
close.
the paywall is what?
I
don't
didn't
know.
know I was going to be like the defending the OnlyFans guy, but this is ridiculous.
Let's go, Big T.
This is insane. You're giving, if you watch porn on Pornhub, you're giving somebody money through ads you're
not-
consuming.
Not
But
the
it's
same.
not the
This-
same.
You're
this
cutting
is
out
the-
the
this is-
middleman.
No, this is the thing. This is the libertarian take of the OnlyFans. This is the thing though. When it's personalized, right? This is what I would consider. So if it's personalized and you get to like have requests, like, and you start
Can you do
requesting,
that on
and there's interaction. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even
you
know.
can.
So if it starts being like a personal relationship thing, then yeah, because then it's a fetish. Billy, how you say fetishization? How would you do that?
fetishization.
There you go. We'll roll with that one, because it's that, but then it is like it's interpersonal, and so to me that is I'm not against you getting your rocks off because just viewing porn or whatever. That's what it is.
Right.
But when it starts becoming an exchange of words, then it's like it's personal.
Yeah, if you're saying
coming-
like, if you're sending messages like, "Wow, I really
But
like."
I don't think most people do that.
Glenny Balls does.
I don't know enough about it.
Is Balls out there? Is Balls in the office?
I was
We
gonna
actually
try to get him.
Let me text Balls real quick.
No, Balls is him and Mintz are on their way to Miami, Florida for a Hooters.
Where's that crew going?
For a Hooters convention or a Hooters event.
Okay.
Hooters convention.
I think so. I read an article. Many OnlyFans models are part of agencies that outsource all of their like sexy talk, and like they produce certain videos to be like put in categories. So if you request something, it's already in the library. Because I was reading about the business of it.
But that's not on.
So it's not
That's not on
technically
the boyfriend.
personalized.
It's definitely sex work.
But I'm not questioning that it's sex work.
But-
I'm questioning like if you're a girl and your boyfriend is paying $9.95 a month to watch some rando girl on OnlyFans, so not a Bella Danger or whoever, like they're specifically paying for one person's content.
Yeah.
Whether it be stockpiled or like not personalized, they're giving that content away. It would be cheating if they
If
paid
that's
for a
cheating,
prostitute.
lock me up. You know,
They-
this may be controversial.
Can you separate
Billy,
the
let Billy,
art
let Big
from the
T,
artist?
Let Big T go on.
This may be controversial. I don't have a full-time job, so I can watch porn like poor people. Okay, I love OnlyFans. It's great. I want to be paid for my work. I hope other people get paid for their work as well.
Yeah.
If that, lock me up then. You know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Big T. He's talking me into it. I don't consume OnlyFans. I don't have a problem if anybody does. I do see the jealousy factor coming in if you're in a committed relationship and it's somebody who like doesn't have a big following and you're going back and forth, complimenting like a video or something and they're DMing you back. That becomes a personal relationship at some point. Sure, it's a personal relationship based on sex and based on money, but it's still it feels like it very much depends on your individual relationship with your significant other at that time and whether or not they're comfortable with that.
Agree. I mean, everybody has like relationship boundaries that you have to set, but this is where I see a folly in Big T's argument with his logic, right? If you don't consider that cheating, right? Interpersonal OnlyFans relationship. If a woman doesn't see a man, if say you got a shorty, Big T, and she doesn't meet him, she doesn't talk to him other than text, and she just dumps herself to him emotionally all the time, says how she feels. Is that cheating, Big T?
No. Also, I've never sent a message on OnlyFans. I think that's
keep the
different.
main thing. As long as you're logically consistent in saying a woman.
So if you're saying like if your girlfriend had a friend who was a dude that like she just told all of her problems to and shit and that was it.
Even about you and her emotional desires and things that she wanted and needed and
exclusively to that person, or like she told you these things also, but then like
let's say she told you these things also.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad.
Here's a question though.
That's interesting.
Are OnlyFans
at least you're consistent though?
Are OnlyFans models allowed to have? Are they cheating?
Oh, that's their job.
That's their.
Well, if you're doing it behind like your significant other's back and they don't know about it,
it's more lying. Yeah, but also I have never I've never been on OnlyFans, but aren't most of it isn't like porn where it's like sex. It's like pictures more.
There's a lot of content creators on OnlyFans. As a former OnlyFans content creator,
so like if like you're taking a picture, I don't think that's cheating.
No, I don't think that if you're.
I also don't think if you're a porn star and you're making porn, I don't think that's cheating. It's like an act. It's two actors.
If you're open with it, and matter of fact, it's a great point though, because I looked up in preface to this show, trying to understand the difference between porn and prostitution and why there is a legal difference. And the one thing that they argued was exactly that, Maddie, was they said that that it falls under the First Amendment right of free expression, and that when you're doing porn and it's film, you're acting it out, so it's a form of artistic expression, and that's where they differentiate prostitution versus pornography.
Yeah, it's like when two movie stars have sex or fake have sex, but like they're not
obviously they're gray and they're stretching the truth. But to answer your question, I think it has everything to do with the honesty in which you lay it out with your partner. If you're saying
very true.
If you're saying, look, this is what I do, this is what I love to do, and this is how I get my work, and you're honest with that person, and that person's okay with it, then that's all good. But if you're lying about it, you cheat.
You have to have a very understanding partner if you subscribe to like multiple OnlyFans and you're interactive with those girls in the OnlyFans.
Right.
You have to have a very understanding partner, and I could see very quickly how you would minimize what you use OnlyFans for. And then you're obviously interacting a lot more than you've told your significant other that you're going to be doing. And then that leads to, okay, well, now I'm lying. And then it becomes like something that you have to keep from your partner at that point. I could see it getting into some issues unless you're very, very clear and everyone's very understanding of each other right up front.
Also, there is the element of if you sometimes guys have like addiction problems with that stuff. So, like, if you're, like, living with a boyfriend and he's, like, consuming vast amounts of OnlyFans and pornography, like, that's like, not, like, he needs help. Like,
right, it's like if he was addicted to drugs.
Yeah, there is, like, pornography addiction.
What about if you're an OnlyFans model, do you get jealous of your customers who are subscribed to other people's OnlyFans?
Can't. That's one of the things you can't hit the player. You gotta hit the game.
Do you hate people who listen to other podcasts?
I do.
Well, what if there's
actually very much?
How predatory would it be if there was like OnlyFans models that are like, you only subscribe to me, right? Like to use like emotional, like manipulation with some of their people just to get them to keep. Oh, beautiful!
I brought in the secret weapon.
All right. So Arian, this is our coworker Glenny Balls. He has a few subscriptions on OnlyFans. Hey, Glenny.
Hi, Glenny.
How you doing, fellas?
We're good. We're good.
Balls.
We got the whole crew here, Glenny, and we're talking about OnlyFans. And Big T's been defending the right of people to subscribe to OnlyFans in a relationship, but we're kind of like trying to figure out how that works. Do you think that OnlyFans, your subscriptions would be considered cheating if you were in a committed relationship with somebody?
No, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you, Glenny.
Okay, but
it's porn.
What if it's like a girl that only has a couple of subscribers, and you feel like it's that personal connection? Does that ever even come into play at all?
I mean, As long as you don't know the person, I think it's fair, because I do get that full front. Because let's say it's an Instagram model that you always liked, and then you started following her OnlyFans, I can maybe see someone getting mad at that. But I still think it's stupid. But unless you know the person, I really don't think it's crazy. Because I mean, it's very realistic that you could know an OnlyFans model. And if you did, I would be kind of mad if I was the girlfriend and I knew you were subscribing to the one that you know. But if you don't know it, I think that's stupid.
Okay, what if your girlfriend's an OnlyFans model?
I would love for that to happen. I'm so.
But even
I would love for that to be arranged.
So he's like, at that point, we have no problem.
But she's messaging multiple people distributing her artwork.
I mean, you're talking to a guy that literally responded to DMs for Asa Akira here. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I know they don't actually care. Like, none of the OnlyFans girls I subscribe to, the ones in the DMs, I'm not like, when they're like, oh, baby, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't respond to that. It's just a mass text to everybody. It's not real.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's fake.
Yeah, so, all right, I mean, I understand what Glennie's saying. I think he's actually correct. I think if it's somebody that you know in real life who's also on OnlyFans, that can be an issue. If it's
sorry, I was about to say, like, I know girls that have OnlyFans that have like OnlyFans managers. Like, it's so fake.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good talk, Glenn. How do you consider prostitution?
Cheating?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you fuck a prostitute, I think that's very fair cheating.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good talk, Glenn. Okay. Have fun at the Hooters convention.
Yeah. Have fun with Hooters.
Can't wait.
Glennie, enjoy yourself.
Bye-bye.
See you. Glennie Balls is brought to you by Sport Clips, our great friends over at Sport Clips. If you have a cowlick or a patchy beard, or if you're finally wanting to grow out that mullet, maybe you just need a style that works every day. Whatever your need, go to Sport Clips Haircuts. It's not your grandma's hair place. Sport Clips stylists are experts in men's hair. I've got a standing appointment right now. If the Washington football team wins their first playoff game this year, if they make the playoffs, I'm going to Sport Clips. I'm getting my hair cut. Brian Fitzpatrick's going to help me out. He's going to trim his beard, too. Remember, you can go to Grandma's for the holidays, but not where she cuts her hair. Go to Sport Clips. Sport Clips they are the pros in men's hair. We love Sport Clips. Go check them out right now. Sport Clips, Sport Clips, Sport Clips. There's one in your neighborhood. Go get a haircut at Sport Clips. It'll make you feel good. Don't even get me started on the legendary steam towel. Glennie leads a charmed life.
We need more. Yeah, we need more balls dropping.
Glennie,
the balls
ball
dropping.
balls drops.
Glennie's really into cryptozoology. He said he wanted to come on and talk about it.
Okay.
There's a Phantom OnlyFans model.
We'll get Glennie on here to discuss that for sure. I also looked up prostitution in the Bible. Have you guys done any research on prostitution in the Bible?
Oh yeah, you know
Mary
about Rahab?
Magdalene.
It is a big one.
What's that, Big T?
Said you know about Rahab?
Who's that?
Oh, so she, the Israelites were attacking Jericho, and she was a prostitute within the walls of Jericho. And the Israelites sent 2 spies in to her house, and she hid them. And when people came looking for them, she hid them on her roof, I think, like under somehow hid them, and they spared her home when they destroyed Jericho because she helped them.
Oh wow!
So she was a prostitute turned like hero.
Traitor.
Kind of. But,
yeah.
I mean,
wait, was she good or bad? I need to know.
Well, she was good for the Israelites, not good for
the Jerichans.
I guess they'd be Canaanites.
Canaanites.
Right?
Jericho.
Who was a good guy? Who's a bad guy? Israelites good.
The Israelites.
Okay, so
yeah.
she was a good guy.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, Walls of Jericho.
Sick finishing move.
Insane finishing move.
Yeah. So the Bible, it kind of goes back and forth between how it views prostitutes, because I do know that I think it's in Deuteronomy. It says, if a priest's daughter becomes a prostitute, you should burn her at the stake. And then that was the old school God. That was before you accepted the terms and conditions. And then there's other examples, right? Mary Magdalene in the Bible. What do you know about Mary Magdalene? Because all I know is what I've read on the back jacket of a Dan Brown novel.
Yeah, you can get into a lot of weird, wacky conspiracies about Mary Magdalene, but she was a cool kid.
She was
a cool
Jesus'
kid. Mary
Jesus' boo thing.
Would subscribe.
No, that's not true. You've
Jesus-
been reading too much Da Vinci Code.
Jesus loved her for who she was and not for what she did, and that's how we should love everybody.
Could you make the argument though that like Mary Magdalene had an emotional relationship with Jesus, no matter what.
I think we're getting.
Like, was Jesus cheating on all of mankind emotionally with Mary Magdalene?
Okay. No.
She was telling him all of her hopes and dreams and goals and ambitions and emotions that she wasn't sharing with anybody else. I get jealous when I hear that Mary Magdalene had that type of relationship with JC.
I think there were several people who were very close with Jesus who weren't necessarily
He's polygamous.
Involved. No, stop that. We're not involved in any sort of nefarious manner.
So honestly, though, when it comes to Mary Magdalene, can you give me like Mary Magdalene for dummies, because I really don't know that much about her.
Well, so she was considered an apostle. She was there. She witnessed the crucifixion. And she was one of the women who went and discovered that Jesus was no longer in the tomb. But she, yes, that is how the story goes.
So she would have been an OnlyFans model.
Okay, no.
So she would have been, if Jesus would say, she would have been an OnlyFans model.
No.
Jesus would have subscribed.
So maybe, so Jesus may have not been involved with her,
just
but
to help
a
her.
subscriber.
Y'all enable him so much. Like
passive
he,
subscriber.
It's fact that she was a prostitute, correct?
yes.
It'd been like,
Not necessarily.
it'd have been like that.
Well, that
that
actually
you pay
kind
for,
of-
but you don't never really use like that.
that actually kind of came about later. Like there's some interesting. Coley, is that what you were talking about? Like we don't know.
Well, yeah, I was saying it's not like, I think that's one of the popular leading theories, but I mean, there's other theories that she was like in a relationship like with Jesus. Like there was, it's not.
I don't know that the Bible explicitly says she was a prostitute.
Right, exactly. It's just more like what is somewhat known about her was like she was not necessarily wealthy, but she had her own money, which, I mean, back then women couldn't like work until like this most recent century. So I don't know how else she would have been making money unto herself. So that's kind of where people are like, she was selling herself. And it's kind of speaks to like who we make Jesus up to be, the characteristics we put onto him. Like he wasn't there's so much negativity with prostitutes, as we talked about, that it makes sense that we would have Jesus juxtaposed to a person like that to speak to his moral character, that he didn't care what line of work you were in.
Mm-hmm. I like that, Coley. Good analysis.
Wasn't Mary Magdalene also, wasn't she the one big T that when he was getting what
did she look like?
She was the one that put the towel on Jesus' face that has
The
like
proof
that he existed.
The Shroud of Turin?
Is that what it was called?
I don't know. That's,
Yeah,
I know you.
she-
I know you thought that the Shroud of Turin was Jesus's do-rag last week.
Yes, I did.
It is kind of funny. Jesus had two women in his life. One was very famously known as the Virgin Mary, and then the other one was just Mary.
Yeah.
Like, no, the other Mary was fucking.
Imagine them being introduced at the same time to somebody. This is pure Mary.
This is clandestine, pure Virgin Mary, and that's if you want to have fun, that's Mary.
Yeah. So I'm looking at portraits of Mary Magdalene, and she's a saint. She's literally a saint. But it's tough to say exactly what she looked like, because all the old paintings they just look like cartoons to me.
They were definitely not there were no gingers.
They were not gingers.
There was not gingers.
Mary. Also, it would be like classic, just human nature. Go after a woman that reminds you of your mom, like Mary.
Freud was right.
Yeah, Freudian. Kill your father, marry your mother.
That's why it was.
Yeah. All right, so
That's a juicy conspiracy, though. We should probably do something on that. Is the whole conspiracy that Mary Magdalene and Jesus had kids together?
Oh yeah, and like the whole Da Vinci.
It's fun to play with. It's fun to play with.
So who were their kids allegedly? We can dip into it more later.
JFK, for sure.
JFK Jr. There was no JFK. It's just
Jesus bloodline.
Yeah, I haven't done enough research into it. It's just like a little me skimming over it now.
Okay, cool. We will check into it. So, she was
Mary had a child.
She was the person that bathed Jesus' feet.
Oh,
Jesus,
yeah.
Jesus was a foot guy.
Very much could have had an OnlyFans
Yeah, he was
subscription.
like Billy Feetball.
You saying
Jesus was a dominatrix is the path we're headed down right now.
I like it.
Chains and whips and shit.
Yeah, he did like to. I mean, those mechanisms do look very cross-like.
The crown of thorns was really just a gimp mask. Yeah. All right, now we're getting really sacrilegious.
Big T's biz.
No different than usual.
Did you know?
Yeah, I mean the Wolf of Wall Street scene where they put the candle in his ass, very akin to hell.
Did you know
Which
that
circles that?
that prostitution is banned in Islam? It's
but
it is haram.
But temporary marriage is allowed.
Okay, so what's the difference? Can you walk me through that?
So like they made in certain sects of Islam in some countries they made allowances like for stuff like usury and giving loans. They just like make it so it's not usury and it's like you're paying rent on money. I don't know, there's some way they skew it so that it's legal to give out loans, much the same way they allowed for temporary marriages, so you could have sex with other people and just like have these little temporary marriages.
it's a hall pass. You get a hall pass from the Lord.
I'll find out the specifics.
I never understood people that are like, "Oh, you're on my list." Like I've got my list of 5 people that I'm allowed to have sex with outside of marriage. That never works, right?
Justin Bieber.
Never in the history of the world has that. If you actually have sex with somebody that's on your hall pass list, and you go back to your significant other, and you're like, "Hey, guess what? Checked one of them off." Like, what if your hall pass list is like it's a woman and her husband that live in suburban Atlanta, and she's like, I'm thinking about just adding Kyle from next door to the hall pass. I saw him mowing the lawn earlier, shirtless, and he's number 3 on the list. No one has ever actually come back from fulfilling a list and then have their wife or husband be like, "Okay, great, yep, no problem."
High five.
Muta is legalized prostitution, which has been sanctioned by the 12er Shia authorities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So progressive.
Yeah. She quotes the Oxford Encyclopedia of Modern Islamic World to differentiate between marriage, nikah, Nikah, and muta.
Wait, Billy, what was that second one?
And muta, and states that while
Billy, you want to say that second one out loud?
Nikah,
Okay.
and that while Nikah is for procreation, MUT'(AH) is just for sexual gratification.
Okay.
So then it's disputed whether it's actually real, but it was like there was sex that would do that.
Okay. I think we're all in agreement in this room. Surprisingly, all in agreement that prostitution should be legalized in a certain way or decriminalized. Big T, would you agree with that?
I want the government involved in as little as possible, so I think if 2 consenting adults want to have sex with each other and get paid for it, I don't care.
Rhode Island had legal indoor prostitution up until really recently.
What?
Very recently, yeah.
Indoor, like a water park? It's like, what the hell
Whoever
is
wrote,
indoor?
I think what happened, like whoever wrote the laws the first time around left like a very, I mean, Rhode Island is not the most law-abiding state that we have in the 50. So I think whoever wrote that law, what, you're offended I talked about Rhode Island?
Did we
It's
also
true.
figure out the thing about incest with Rhode Island?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Rhode Island is honestly like a wild place.
Yeah, Rhode Island's a wild time. It's very like they don't ID in Rhode Island. Like you can get away with whatever you want in Rhode Island.
It's maritime law.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. It was a whole like seafaring bunch there.
So wait, please explain the whole outdoor prostitution thing to me.
So like streetwalkers are illegal. Like you can't solicit prostitution on a street corner, but you could. You could.
You can go into a brothel.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whatever happened was whoever was writing the law, like high class prostitution, where it was like always being done in hotels, was what they were trying to keep in the loophole so that like no congressman or anything could get caught up technically breaking the law.
They outlawed it in 2009. Didn't the Patriots mascot get wrapped up?
That I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, no, the guy
very funny though.
No, yeah, Patriots mascot got caught up.
Like wearing
The flying Elvis.
Was he wearing Pat the Patriot uniform?
No, he got a New England Patriots mascot nabbed in prostitution sting. And I remember that it was in Rhode Island.
How did they know it was him? Like, when he was getting arrested, was he like, by the way, I'm the New England Patriots mascot?
You can't arrest me. Robert Sormonti of Warwick, Rhode Island, was cuffed by state police, who said they also nabbed 13 others in the sting. Yeah, so he was the mascot at the time. It was 2009, so it was probably right after it became illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think Kraft said to him afterwards? Like,
2009.
it happens.
Yeah, they really set the example from the top down in that organization.
Yeah. Culture starts, at the top.
Big T, you would kill to have grown up a Patriots fan. I know you're not talking.
I actually wouldn't, because it wouldn't be fun at this point.
No, it is. I promise you.
Big T would be sick of winning.
Yeah.
No, I've said forever, I want each of the teams I like to win one championship. I want them each to win once, and that's it.
Listen, my favorite team's the Celtics. They've only won one, and it kills me.
It wouldn't be special after
one in my lifetime.
Did the Patriots 6 Super Bowl feel as good as the first one? No.
Yeah, it sure did.
No, it didn't. Then you didn't. You
the
didn't.
Fifth. You want to talk about the fifth?
Well, that's different. That was an insane.
But it was the fifth.
Never gonna happen again.
The Falcons haven't. The Falcons. I saw the stat this morning. The Falcons haven't had a 10-point comeback in the fourth quarter since 1993.
And they've allowed
every team in the
12
league
in the last 2 years.
Every team has had one since 2006. The Lions have done that more recently. The Browns.
That's a shame.
Have done it.
It's a shame. Listen, it happens.
Arian, I got a question about the Texans and the Patriots. Were you on that team that wore those varsity letter jackets when you went up to New England?
I absolutely was.
Was that your idea?
It was my idea to, I was like, yo, we gotta do something, because nigga, they used to make you wear suits and shit, right? And so it wasn't my idea for that. I think it was Connor Barwin's idea. Connor Barwin and Cody, what is his name?
Oh, I know you're talking about Cody, the linebacker.
Was
right?
not JJ.
No, he's a D line. It was JJ. That was JJ's second year. He was still new booty, so he wasn't really vocally like that. But so it was Connor Barwin. I forget that Cody Buck. I fucked up because that's my dude. I'm shit with names. But anyway, it was a couple of them, and it was a great idea. Yeah, shit to do while we got whooped, but it was a great idea. It was fly. It was fly, and also a good little of course, it made the news and shit, and that's the reason why we lost. And shit,
Sean Cody.
Damn. Yeah. And so it was a dope little camaraderie thing, you know what I'm saying? And that was shit. We went to the division around there, so it was cool, man.
What'd you do with the Letterman jacket? Did you wear it back onto the plane on the way home, or did you just leave it up?
I did. I was fly. I had a nice little underneath. I had this dope little knit tie. Of course I had the
I feel like most of the pictures were of you because
I was smooth.
How that team was. It was your team in a lot of ways. So
I feel like I was one of the key players. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like a lot of it fell on you.
Letterman jacket.
Yeah, I mean, it was my hype. Them shits was fire, bro. I mean, because I always said this too. I didn't have a Letterman's jacket in high school. I just never got one. I was broke, and it just wasn't on my radar to really brag about high school accomplishments like that. And so I never got one. So to have one was kind of fun. And we put all our Pro Bowl patches on and shit. It was dope, man. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, we should have one for your pro career. Absolutely.
I'm looking at your picture right now. It's you getting off the plane. You've got a very, very smart pair of glasses on, real short hair, and it says 23 RB in a patch on your right arm. They are pretty cool. They get a bad rap because you guys got your ass kicked.
Yeah, what happened immediately after? Yeah, that's
but
what it is.
But if you had won that game, I feel like Letterman jackets for adults would have made a huge comeback.
100%. It was a great idea. We just happened to get whooped. Is what it is. Great jacket though.
Great jacket.
Matter of fact, I lost that shit too. Damn. Now I'm thinking about it. That shit's in the there was a one of the many floods in Houston. Like my shit got flooded all the way up. It was like 5 feet, and I lost like a whole bunch of shit. Like,
Damn.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes. I'm looking at the picture of J.J. Watt wearing the Letterman jacket.
If you guys win that game, that's probably like a tradition that is still going with the Texans.
The Letterman jacket?
Probably, yeah.
You said it is?
If you guys have won that
100%.
game.
Yeah. We ain't really had no postseason success like that. So like if we'd have that was a big Patriots team, and that would have been they lost in the AFC Championship there, I believe.
I think so. I think we lost to the Broncos, right?
No, Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore. Yeah.
That was Baltimore thing. Yeah. That'd have been fire though. That was a good little run we had, man.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch any of the game yesterday?
Nah, I was traveling. I was in some Michigan lake yesterday.
Browns won.
David Culley, the coach of the Texans, he accepted. Wait, it was third down. I want to say it was like third down and 15.
It was 3rd and 15.
3rd and
Correct.
15. There was a penalty after they gained 12 yards.
13. Yeah, it would have been 4th and 2.
It would have been 4th and 2. So they gained 13 yards on third down, but there was a penalty on the field. The penalty on the field, they could have either accepted the penalty and replayed the down.
It was defensive holding. It would have been 3rd and 10.
It would have been 3rd and 10, or they could decline and it would be 4th and 2. The Texans decided to decline the penalty, so it's 4th and 2, and then punted the ball away. Whereas they could have accepted the penalty, it would have been 3rd down. They could have tried to get a 1st down, but instead the head coach was like, "No, you know what? Let's just punt. Bad things are going to happen if we have the ball in our hands for too long."
Was he playing the field position game? I mean,
Was Davis Mills in the game at this point?
Davis Mills might have been the quarterback at this point. Yeah,
I agree with his decision to punt. Then.
Still,
You still could have punted though.
you still could have punted on 3rd down. Yeah,
For sure. I mean, did you see the sack Grant Delpit laid on him? Like, definitely get the ball out of that guy's hands. The sooner the
You
better.
could hand it off and just hope something good happens.
yeah.
The old 3rd and 10 draw.
Yeah.
As a Browns fan, that's something that would happen to us. Like that would be like a incompetent coach decision.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that happened at a Browns game, but the Browns weren't the ones that decided that, warms my heart.
But David Culley, he's a new guy coaching the team. He's been around the game for a long time, but it's his first year as a head coach, and he apologized today. He came out and said, "Yeah, I kind of got turned around a little bit on that."
I mean, we're talking about the Texans, and the overarching theme of this episode. They might be in a different position if prostitution were legalized.
That's very true. It's very true, Coley. Deshaun Watson, he is. Is he actually going to play? Like,
Can't imagine.
I can't. Can you imagine if he goes to Miami right now? If Miami Dolphins said, "We're going to give you 3 first-round picks, get Deshaun Watson," and then they put him out on the field to play like next weekend. That's not going to feel right to me. It's like, dude, you're under investigation. The FBI is investigating you right now for like 25 counts of sex trafficking and sexual assault.
Why is the FBI involved?
I think it might be a civil rights. Let me see. Hang on.
Is he still technically on the Texans roster?
Yeah, he's in 53.
The reason, what I heard PFT was the reason the NFL hasn't put him on the commissioner's exemption list is because the Texans have him on, I believe it's paid leave. Mm-hmm. But if he were to be traded to the Dolphins, then the NFL would have to make a decision one way or the other. And if there's anything we know about the NFL, they would make the right decision.
Absolutely. They'll do the right thing. I think the FBI got involved because there was allegedly some sort of extortion claim that somebody was making, and it became like a federal matter, so that they're looking into it. But
on him, they were trying to extort him.
Maybe, but it looks like the FBI has immersed themselves in this investigation. So I don't know. It would feel really strange to me if he was out there on the field and there's all these allegations against him.
And why would you trade 3 first-round picks for a guy who has all these things? Like, he could go to jail theoretically.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to keep the receipt if you trade for him.
This is tough, man.
It is tough because there's honestly like no good there's nothing good that's going to come out of this.
No.
It's either going to be he's a world-class scumbag, or it's going to be this is the most fucked up extortion scheme of all time to levy against a player because he was trying to get out of Houston. So either way, it's bad. But I guess I'm hoping it's the second one, because at least then it means that nobody got sexually assaulted.
Right.
Yeah. Then there would be like some devious ass ownership moves. That you got some. That's some. You fuck around, own the team after that. If that comes out to be true.
Yeah, true. But also, like, was it 22 women now?
Yeah, no. See, this is what I always tell people to ask me, like, because I mean, obviously, I'm not associated with Buddy. Like, I don't know him like that. Like, I'm not saying he's guilty either. All I know is this. That's what I tell people is like, I was in the league 8 years and I was a running back, and I think in my time in Houston, I maybe had 4 massage therapists, and like once you find one, like you stick with one. In my experience, like that's my experience. He had like 22 and he's like year 3 or something like that. I don't know. In my experience, that's a little awkward. Like, I don't know why that would be the case. I just know for me, it was very convenient that once I found one, we got into a routine. I know they know what I needed. I know what they provided, and it was just that was the synergy that was there. And I was very professional. I never did anything like that. So I don't understand the need for 22 plus. I just don't. I would have to hear him out. Like, I just don't understand that. Well,
from early stages of this, it sounded like they were almost like pawning him off on other physical therapists. So even if he wasn't doing anything like wildly untoward, he was doing something that was making them even legally uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they was passing him off. So it wasn't even him. Oh.
It's that because like one of the first people to come out was like, yeah, he was referred to me by another therapist, and it's like, well, if he's a big fucking creep, why would you throw that on someone else unless you're just trying to get rid of him for you? But
if there's anything to learn about the Michael Jackson research that I did, is that I don't know shit about the details of this case, so like I just don't have an opinion on it. I just give people my perspective from what I've seen in the league, and like you draw your own conclusions. But I don't have a conclusion. I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's innocent, and it's really none of my business. But yeah, I just wish him well, and I wish everybody else involved who's possibly a victim. I wish everybody well, because that shit fucked up, and it's so highly publicized that it's just like it's nothing but messy. It's just gonna be messy for everybody involved, and so I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Billy, you look like you got something on your mind.
Yeah, that's a really screwed up situation.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So like, there's a rumor that like a lot of massage parlors really act as like happy ending places.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you know,
would you ever go to one, Billy?
No, but I'll tell you, when I was training for my fight against Jose Canseco, I was getting seriously fucked up in training, and my neck was getting like hit back. And the thing was, it was in the middle of quarantine. Like, I don't have the means to go find a massage therapist, but my neck was fucked. So I went to one of these places and got a massage. But now coming out that, is that what they're supposed to be for? And then I never went back.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like when you're going into a massage parlor that's one of those kinds of massage parlors. Yeah. You know, I don't think it's not a real big mystery.
Yeah, try to stick with the chains if you're trying to avoid something like that. Go to the Envies or the stuff like that.
It was like
the spas.
It was like a nail place too, so it's not like it was like there's people in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
so I was in Amsterdam a couple years ago and went to the red light district just to check it out. See what it was all about, because you hear about it growing up. That place kind of sucks. Red light district is very overrated, because it felt to me like it was almost sex Disneyland. You were just walking down the street. It's mostly tourists that are walking by, and so it's very crowded. they've got all the storefronts, and it's every window has a girl that's standing in the storefront, or either that or she's got the blinds pulled down, which means that she has a customer in there. But it's just dozens and dozens of women standing in the window trying to get guys to come inside. Now, you hear that back in the day, in like the 90s and the 80s, the girls would be like in the window dancing and like making come hither motions to all the guys that are walking by. Today, they're just sitting down and they're just on their phones. They're just like scrolling Instagram. It's the least sexy place that I've ever been, I think. They're wearing like bikini tops, but it's just like a girl sitting on a stool, looking at her phone, refreshing Instagram, and like waiting, looking bored as hell, waiting for a guy to like come up, knock on the door, and hand her like $50. Then they go in the back room and he comes out. Maybe that they actually might use the internet to get most of their customers. That's what I assume that they're doing, is like, I don't know, maybe checking their DMs or whatever. But it's not like I thought it was going to be, going there where it was going to be like racy and like kind of like Las Vegas, like a little bit shady, a little bit sketchy. It was like Disneyland of sex with zero nudity, and it didn't really feel that cool of a place. I kind of felt like bad being there.
It's gonna be hella awkward.
Very awkward, yeah. It's mostly just a bunch of, it's not even bachelor parties cruising through there. It's like dudes that are in their mid-40s, mid-50s on like a boys' weekend away from the wives, and they're just like too hammered walking down the streets of Amsterdam. They're like, let's go down to Red Light District, snag us a couple hens, huh? You know, it's just, it's fucking weird. It's like a weird, grimy place. I was not a big fan of it.
Like a little creepy. Like, I feel like that's the biggest demographic is married dudes or older dudes, incel type cats who can't get, or just sick of the wife or whatever the case may be. And it just gets real creepy after a while. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Old married dudes. They're the worst. They really are.
Inceldom's one of the scariest shit ever. About like the terrorism and shit.
They've got their whole lingo that they have.
Inceldoms? I'm not hip, man.
Incel, like the whole cultures, because they found, a lot of them find each other online and like create a community, and then they like do bad things because they're very angry at the world.
So like there's like a bunch of sexually repressed horny dudes that blame other people because they're sexually repressed.
Like they blame women most of the time.
They like shoot up sororities.
Yeah, it's like really bad.
Yeah.
It's like guys they've convinced themselves that they're never going to find happiness. They're never going to find anybody that will love them. Yeah. And so instead of trying to figure out what it is that's preventing them from getting in these sorts of relationships and having that sort of fulfillment, they just decide to like completely shut down and say, fuck it, it's never going to happen for me, so I might as well take out vengeance against like all my enemies.
And to those type of people, get help. Like you got to reach out to, because what happens is everyone demonizes them so much that it just pushes them farther and farther away in the internet, and they start going crazier and crazier.
People demonize incels?
Yeah, because they're like, you know, like they because their ideology is like so terrible and misogynistic and everything, but because of that, none of them end up getting help, and they all just keep on going.
They retreat.
They retreat darker into the 8chan. Then they're like at 64chan, and they're doing crazy shit.
Basically, they, rather than being like, oh, is this they don't look inward at themselves. Yeah. They blame it on women, saying that, oh, like women always just want, like, you know, their standards are so high, and you know, it's like nice guy finishes last.
Yeah, it's like,
but then if the nice guy doesn't finish, then he kills you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hold on a bit.
It's like really bad.
So these
problem.
these niggas is mad because females have high standards.
Yeah.
Well, basically none of them. They're
they don't get
involuntarily celibate. Like the thing is, like, you can laugh at them, but like everyone's been laughing at them like for their whole lives. So then they just start committing terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad.
Like a lot of like domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
Are linked back to like
you're not gonna blame me for niggas as horny.
I was gonna say it sounds like Billy was excusing acts of terrorism.
I'm not excusing
people laugh
them.
at these people.
No, the thing is, like, I'm trying to just show sympathy. Please don't kill me if you're listening. Because
You're scared an incel's gonna fuck
I am
you
not.
up.
I am not. I am not trying to show sympathy to motherfuckers who are horny and kill people because nobody want to fuck you, bro. Fuck you. What do you mean?
Yeah,
What about this? Why don't we just legalize prostitution?
That's the
That would make.
argument.
I'm with
Legalize
that.
prostitution because it would like stop the inceldom.
That's the last reason as to why I would legalize
Dude,
prostitution.
incels are scary as fuck. They don't give a fuck.
Easy to beat up.
Shut up, Billy.
Across
Don't fuck about
really
incels.
beat upable.
Well, yeah,
I'm not-
they're beat upable, but they want to they want to kill.
Well, yeah, but here's
If a nigga want to off me, bro, if a nigga want to kill me because he can't get his dick wet, yo, I deserve to go. It is what it is, bro. Like, I don't. Like, fuck,
That's
I'm
just
not
how
gonna walk
it's
around.
drawn up.
I'm not finna walk on eggshells because some nigga is horny. Like, fuck you. Nigga. I'm not finna have no sympathy for no mass murderer, bro. Fuck you. What do you mean?
To Billy's point, and I don't have any sympathy for these people, but to Billy's point, it is a little bit more insidious than no one wants to fuck me, so I'm going to kill everyone. Like where a lot of these incels end up turning is they go online and there are these snake oil salesmen who are lurking on all these fucking message boards, like Billy was saying, that are like, oh, I have these dating tips that are guaranteed to get women to like you. Just come listen to me. And then they slide in with these dating tips, like white supremacy talking points, and then eventually turn these dudes into full. Like, if you can get duped into becoming a white supremacist, like, yeah, I have no sympathy for you. That's where you and I agree.
I mean, he
But
sold
there
it
is-
so well.
Yeah, it's like, well, when you put it that way, yeah, I mean, you
The
do wear a
benefit
pretty
packages.
simpatico. Yeah, it's like everything's coming up me here.
Definitely sympathize with the fact of being an outcast and you feel like nobody around you can relate. I can relate to that. But where I draw the line is wanting to murder somebody because of that
Right.
shit. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna cater to that. Like, I'm sorry.
I think one thing that also happens on a lot of the message boards is it's the people that are the snake oil salesmen, like Coley said, but a lot of them aren't even active in the communities that they purport to be. Like that, yeah, they've got the white supremacy talking points or whatever, but a lot of them are just like diehard internet trolls to the point where their souls are so vacant that they think that it's hilarious if they can trick somebody into becoming so despondent that they shoot up a school. Like, to them, that's the ultimate laugh. And it's those same people that come up with a lot of the Q stuff. They make it up because they want to see how far they can push people, like, as a joke. And to them, it's just like, oh, holy shit, I can't believe we made this person, like, go out and
We stormed the Capitol.
yeah, like they're like that's epic. I can't believe that we made those people do that for the lulz. It's like they're pulling all the strings, but they have no attachment whatsoever to the causes that they're injecting into other people's
The
brains.
consequences.
Yeah.
I sometimes like to think of myself as an internet anthropologist. So I go.
Of course, yeah.
So I go like, I can't be like, like going out as an explorer because I was born too late. So I go out on the internet and I go explore different communities and see what makes them tick.
You're the Indiana Jones of
Why can't you explore in the world? What's stopping you from exploring?
Billy was born after the world. Coley. He was born too late for outdoors.
He was born in the Matrix, and that's now his playground.
Yeah, but I have to like, I can't take too many vacations. There's a really bad vacation.
Shut up, Billy.
So I can't like go on an expedition somewhere, but I can browse on the internet for a couple hours and like figure out all these different internet communities and like what makes them tick. And the incels are terrifying. They absolutely like. And also, I grew up when like with a lot of school shootings, like when so I have a little more fear to that. You may not
because
sympathize.
because Billy's the ultimate Chad. Because Billy knows that.
Yeah,
like,
no, seriously,
he's the first one getting shot.
Yeah,
like through the door.
Stop saying that. That's really fucking scary.
They're gonna be like, where's the 6'4" blonde dude that's the quarterback of the football team?
Fucking all my bitches.
Yeah, you were high value target.
Through the right lens, Billy is like Hitler's dream.
100%.
Stop. They're
100%.
gonna kill me.
The incels have like decks of cards like we used to have in Iraq for the most important targets that we were going after, and Billy was the ace of spades for the incels.
No, seriously, look at it's like this is the guy that they hate. They're like,
Yeah, you are the
Chad.
Chad.
Yeah.
It's you,
meme.
bro.
Yeah.
You're the good-looking, tall.
No,
He's not that good
I
looking.
just want-
looking.
Billy, you're a good-looking dude, man.
No, dude, it's the scariest shit ever.
Yeah, but yeah, Billy is quite literally like a sea lion that's swimming off the coast of South Africa. He's like, the most dangerous thing in the world is great white sharks. It's like, yeah, dude, because you're their most delicious target. They dream of a day where they can hunt you down. Billy's wearing, like, you probably had more leather jackets than Arian Foster.
I used to rock my Letterman jacket all the time, but then you can't wear it in college because it's douchey.
Sure.
It is. Why are you?
Is that
Why
what
are
you
you?
think
Why are
you
you
look like,
mocking
Billy?
No, it's just the whole idea. But it's
Why
scary.
would you wear your high school Letterman jacket in college?
It's cold out. Also, there was like
Fair enough.
there was a cool compartment in my leather jacket where you could like zip it up and you could just stash beers in there.
That is pretty sweet.
So like you could roll up into like the
He's
library.
like Buddy on Varsity. You roll to the library.
You roll up to the
Go
library.
to the library with beers.
You lived a real like Varsity Blues high school experience.
not
didn't you?
really.
Like, that's like fire that fucking pig skin.
Yeah, Billy's the American dream. That's why everyone wants to kill him.
Oh man.
All right. Anybody have anything else to say about Stushin?
We should cut all the incel talk because
No.
they're definitely listening.
No,
and
we're leaving
Give a
it.
fuck. Stop blaming people because you undesirable, bro. Here,
No, they
you want some real. Here's some dating advice. If you an incel, you listen to some dating advice. Women love cleanliness. Women love groomed men. Women love like take care of your nails, take care of your hygiene, take care of your apartment or wherever you live at. Make sure that it's clean. They love that kind of stuff. They love, for the most part in this society, love fit men. So eat well, exercise well, right?
But
Also, they love
Too hard.
they love humor. They love a sense of humor. And also you have to get it in your head that not every woman's gonna like you. 7 billion people on this planet. Not every woman's gonna find you attractive. Like, just get that through your head. I am what they would call like, I'm a fairly good looking dude. I'm financially wealthy. I still have no ego in the fact that like if I approach a woman and she doesn't want to talk to me, there's nothing wrong with her. It's she just does not attracted to me. That's okay, dog, and that's okay.
a lot of them are actually not like that. The psychology is that even though they could get girls, it's just that they always shoot for like the top 1% of females and get rejected, and then hate all women. It's like really fucked
Who's
up.
the top 1% of females?
I don't know.
though?
I don't know.
How do you define that?
It's like
it sounds like they've got
all-
a definition in their head of what the top 1% of females should be.
They all like want like
They go for like Kendall
leaving-
Jenner looking
yeah,
people.
yeah.
I'm
they look
even
for-
less empathetic of them now because you're saying it's not necessarily that they can't get women; it's they can't get the women that they want. And that's
It's
just
not that I'm
fucking even- it's
empathetic
even
of them.
stupider.
I am
You know how badly
terrified.
You know how badly
Maddie, are you not terrified as well?
Incels, like being a young woman, like incels are something I think about.
You know how badly
has
it would
a
fucking
real-
suck to date Kendall Jenner?
Yeah,
You're like
Poor
people,
Devin Booker.
people are acting like they want to date a Kardashian. It would be the worst fucking experience of your life.
Yeah.
Every now and then
There's-
she just walks up and gives somebody a Pepsi can. That shit would be weird.
Yeah, maybe.
Solve the problem.
Yeah, if you're like in a fight with her, at least she could neutralize that. But like, it seems like it's the worst experience that you could ever imagine in your love life. You're thinking the whole time. You're like, well, every single professional athlete that I meet wants to and probably could fuck her.
Or has.
Or has. Like, I'm in the public eye all the time. She's super
Yeah,
tall.
that's a big change for you.
But like a different
Yeah.
public eye.
Yeah.
For
Like
sure, that's true.
TMZ. I'm poor compared to her, and and she's huge. She's tall, and I'm
That's what it comes down
I'm
to.
just this little guy.
For some reason, it's really bad in Canada. There's a ton of
got you in the
incels
low
in
post.
Canada.
Maddie, and just women in general have a real. I understand that threat. Like I get that.
Yeah.
I get that because like I mean I could not imagine like leaving Target at 12 a.m. because I had to pick up some like a loofah or something, right? And I'm going to my car scared of being sexually assaulted. I've never had to experience
Yes.
it. That's wild.
Definitely
you have
tough.
Yeah, you scared. It's a scary thing. But Billy, What the fuck is you scared for, bro?
Dude,
Like,
these guys have mass networks of communities.
They're supported online by each other, so it gives them this like weird false sense of
if
ego.
anything, they really need to like start doing some outreach to these groups and de-radicalizing a lot of them, because
they're radicalized.
You
they're
should
out
do
there.
that, Billy. You should convert them.
Yeah. It's like, remember PFT's
Help me out,
like
my
weird
nigga,
cult
of
convention
societal
that
problems that we need to tackle.
Well,
Niggas that can't
honestly,
get laid.
but it's
bro.
a
Count
lot.
me out.
There's like tons of studies how it's like the root of a lot of problems in this country.
Okay, here's my idea. You ready for this? Start a charity. The charity, we collect money, we legalize prostitution, and we give them money to spend on prostitutes that are in our network of their choice. The prostitutes opt in.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing good for the community. They're helping the country out by helping these men who could be sexually repressed, and you get a prescription to have sex.
Yeah.
And then you get laid, and then who knows if that's going to actually fix you, because you're probably kind of crazy. You need more than just like to have
to get
sex
off.
one time.
Yeah.
But
like
I don't
desire love.
But I don't think it would hurt.
Or they just, a lot of them do like have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So it's
You don't say.
no, I mean,
Billy, you're just making this so much worse for yourself.
And Bill, you're all
I'm
over
not-
the
I'm
place with
just
these
trying
guys.
not
You're
to get
terrified of
killed
them.
by them.
And then
Ain't nobody. You're scared of incels killing you like Big T's scared of this murder mystery he's a part of. Like, it's not gonna happen, bro.
I don't think Billy's worried about getting killed by the incels because like he's afraid of dying. I think he's afraid of the shame that would go along with having a bunch of betas be the ones that took him out. Like they're not a worthy adversary to take out. That's how much of a chat he is. He's like these oh man, I got killed by a virgin.
no.
Fuck.
Bro, these guys commit terrorism. Like, they are the ones who'll chase you down in real life.
How many times has that happened? How many times has there been a mass and the person was like, I did this because I'm an incel?
At least 8 mass murders, resulting in a total of 61 deaths, have committed since 2014 by men who have either self-identified as incels or have mentioned incel-related names and writings in their private writings or internet postings.
Yawn.
But that could just be because they're crazy people in general, not because they were incels.
I think they're crazy people who are looking for any place to belong.
Yeah.
And they get sucked in by real pieces of shit that are trying to manipulate them. And just if you don't have anybody to talk to about anything, it's real easy to just fall into some stuff that you have no idea what you're getting into.
It's like these Reddits, like these subreddits that are like incel
They're off
based.
Reddit now. They're on to 8chan. They're on to fucking 64chan.
I still don't know what 8chan is.
Is it multiples of 4chan?
Yeah, it's 4chan. It's like the deeper. It's like 4chan is like, there's Reddit, then there's 4chan, then there's 8chan, and then there's 64chan, where like it just gets worse and worse and worse.
So
and rhetoric, memes.
There's a 62 and a 32chan.
I don't know, but like they keep creating. They keep all.
Is there significance for the number 4?
Yeah, they all like they all like go like racist,
just-
misogyny.
What if I just type in 64chan?
White nationalism, and then they keep getting blocked off of
It's
4chan, then 8chan, because they're like protecting freedom of speech and moving on to new platforms.
Holy shit! It's the island. It's the island of misfit toys, so to speak. If you're that deep on it, oh god, if they listen to this, they're gonna kill me.
No.
Yeah,
They're gonna kill Arian.
Yeah, if
No, Billy,
if there's an incel
After what he
listening to
said today.
this, go after Arian. He probably has security.
Billy, yeah, you're worried about nothing. You're the one you've been curtailing to him.
Yeah,
They're gonna listen to what Arian said.
I actually don't think Arian said anything wrong. I think Arian gave him good advice.
I gave you good advice. I said, look, I have no sympathy for you if you feel like offing somebody because you can't get laid or whatever your issue is. There's always a better way to handle it. And if your first instinct is to kill somebody because of this shit, fuck you.
Yeah, they don't want sympathy, by the way. That's not what they're after.
Here. I'm sorry. I got better things to worry about. The niggas that can't fuck, bro. Like,
Print the t-shirts.
Prostitutes, give them some stoots.
I'm for that. And that can help them out. Let's legalize it, regulate it, so that it can be a safe haven for people that cannot find refuge sexually, and for people to have an outlet to go you on and trick off on your marriage. That's what's up. People like having sex, man. That's all it is, man.
So
legalize that
worst
shit.
case scenario, you legalize prostitution, sex work, maybe more STDs, but I would say even
Less.
that's a bad
less.
argument because there's regulated testing.
I would say less.
Yeah, I liked Arian's idea earlier where he was basically talking about like you walk in and you get to see their next gen stats.
Yeah, give me the Carfax.
Like a baseball card.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk in. You've done this. You had it. Boom. I want that. That's what I want. You do your thing. You test too. They test you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just a clean exchange, and boom, we out of here.
Dude,
Business is good.
I really don't see a downside to it from a practical standpoint. Big T, do you see a downside?
If two people if one person wants to pay somebody else to have sex, I think that's fine.
One thing we haven't talked about at all today, given all the Stute talk we've gone down here, we haven't talked about gigolos.
Oh yeah.
Male prostitutes.
Oh yeah.
It's just so rare.
I feel like it is rare.
Yeah.
But not just in the heterosexual community.
Not just in the heterosexual. Well, I think gigolos in the homosexual community are more common
Yeah.
than in the heterosexual community.
Being a heterosexual woman, I've never heard of a gigolo as a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Until right now.
The first time
A TV show about it.
I think it's just the way that men and women traditionally have evolved is if you wanted to have sex with somebody, Maddie, you just could point and you could just make it happen. Like we have to put in the time into courting you, rather as you would just like show a little interest and you got to if you traditionally.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I think that's part
Look
of
at you,
it.
Billy. Billy, what you about to say, man?
nothing.
What are you gonna say, Billy?
Say it.
Not for me.
That's exactly what the incels say.
I was just gonna say that, Arian. You're getting into mild insult.
Yeah,
territory.
dude.
It's the truth.
Bro.
But what's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with
Nothing.
the woman having agency over her own body? What's wrong with that?
I think you make a good point where it's like women they get to make the selection.
Yes,
That's
what's
on
wrong with
them
that?
more so than the guy.
Because we're
women
we're more physically dominant, right? Like traditionally, we are more physically dominant. So if we were to make the selection, that would be rape.
Yeah, right.
This is not like I don't understand what's I don't know. Like,
I agree with you. Also, women are just much more capable, intelligence-wise, of using that power correctly. If it was a guy and it's just like, hey, you can have sex with anybody that you choose, we would get ourselves into a whole heap of trouble.
Yeah, I've never just like walked up to a guy and been like, "Yep, let's go." Like that's.
Sure.
What's
But
fun?
You could. Probably.
You could probably, yeah, depending on the guy. But yes,
Maybe I
Your
should
odds are better than if any one of us was to do it.
yes.
Yeah, I mean you guys, but we're all handsome here.
Well, maybe not Billy. Billy is ultimate Chad, which is why he's
Billy
why
has
he's
his
being
pick of
targeted.
he has his pick of the litter. That's for sure.
Billy's so afraid right now. He's so afraid of the
Can't stop
insults.
fucking-
I do not have my pick of the litter. I struggle with this.
Dude, I live with a dog, multiple animals, like
And he still gets
I
laid.
s-
It's
I
crazy.
stink.
That's a desirable trait. That's a
No, it's
desirable
not.
trait, man. Yes, it is. Women love animal lovers. Bro.
I have really incompatible interests with women.
I hate women.
I'm an internet anthropologist.
Yeah, Billy, just say that you're an incel.
No, because that's fucking terrible.
Billy's an incel. Has gotten plastic surgery and all sorts of body modifications over the years to blend in as a Chad,
Hate or
It-
are you trying to infiltrate the?
infiltrate
I'm
the world of
yeah,
Chads.
Yeah.
Do you think they would hate Chad like Billy more or a voluntary celibate?
Oh, a voluntary celibate.
That's what a priest is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Do you think they would respect?
They're the
like,
ones that get
game
the
respect
gigolos.
game.
Well, it's like my heritage is not your costume. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Appropriate.
Yeah. I was born into this. You merely inherited it.
Yeah, it would be like me, like the shopping carts that are also wheelchairs, like me using one of those when I'm perfectly able-bodied. Like, that's a voluntary celibate.
Yeah.
Which I argue that those should be more readily available.
It is luxurious shopping in those.
Bruh. As a kid, I haven't done it as an adult, but like as a teenager when I was an asshole, I would definitely.
You definitely, Arian, I've seen some of your MRIs when you were on the Texans. You definitely used a motorized shopping cart once or twice.
No, my brother. I didn't shop.
So, okay, there you go. Billy.
So you had a personal shopper, and you find it ridiculous that Chris Paul could have a personal dentist.
These are the questions.
Shopping for groceries.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Chris Paul has made
dentist.
Chris Paul's made a lot more money.
Bro, you have to literally go to years of school to be a dentist. You do not have to go to any years of school to go get groceries for somebody.
Right. There are multiple apps that offer home delivery for groceries.
Dude, I'm nowhere near the same.
I'm gonna be honest. I fucking love shopping for groceries. Like, is that
one of the biggest waste of times I've hated?
I hate grocery shopping.
I love going, just like, especially going to the deli, and just like picking out the meats.
Yeah.
And then checking out the cold cuts, and then you go home like picking out some pasta or something, or maybe you're gonna do a risotto, do like a rice dish, and then you cook. Then you go home, and then you like crack a beer, grill, or put some music on.
Open up 4chan.
Started making some food.
No, I don't mind grocery shopping.
Dude, I fucking love grocery shopping.
I just can't go if I'm hungry because then.
That's the best time to go.
No, it's the worst.
It's the worst time to go.
I get all the shit I don't need.
Yeah, but then you have it in your house, and then you always eat in, and then you don't spend money on eating out.
Yeah. Unless you're in Pompeii.
Like that guy in Pompeii, yeah.
Pompeii, I think they used to justify cities of Sodom and Gomorrah always get destroyed.
Yeah.
I think that's been referenced a couple times in religious texts.
Speaking of Stushin, it's really weird that Las Vegas, everyone refers to it as like Sin City. You think of Las Vegas, you think of prostitutes and escorts. It's actually illegal. Prostitution's illegal in Las Vegas. It's legal in Nevada, but it's illegal in the city of Las Vegas.
Can I clear up what's the difference between an escort and a prostitute?
I think an escort is more of, this is your date for the night, and then at the end of your date,
there may or may not be sex.
there will be sex.
Oh, it's a guarantee.
I think it's heavily implied.
Okay.
It's also like arm candy too, and emotional stuff sometimes where like you talk to somebody and like it's like a day event as well, right? Or it's like a date as well. It's not just like, yeah, I'm here for this. It's like a low-key like a girlfriend for the night or something like that.
So it's like, oh, I have a event that I need a +1 to.
Sometimes, yeah, it can
Here's
be.
my escort. So is it like or like that's kind of.
Or just like a night out on the town.
It's kind of like what sugar babies are used for. And as a 22-year-old girl, sugar daddies are everywhere. Not that I have one, but they are in your DMs nonstop.
Sugar daddies.
Dude,
oh my God.
It was a pre.
Yeah.
I think that's like why OnlyFans became a thing, because I actually know a bunch of like girls in college who'd have like older men like sending them money just for like
there's websites for it.
Fake. Yeah.
What's the going rate for like a sugar daddy situation?
The DMs I get are $500 a week.
Yeah, they'll literally put you on payroll.
And none of it is sexual.
Yeah, it's
what do they get out of it?
Emotional support. Like you just have to like text them.
That's it?
You said you don't have one?
That's the easiest job of all time.
Most of the time,
outsource that shit to Glenny Balls. He'll do the texting for you.
most of the time I think they're bots because it's like 0 followers and whatever, and they're like stock images. So I think they're bots most of the time, and I actually am not having like 55-year-old men in my DMs. I really hope my parents aren't listening to this. But
dude, it's scary as fuck.
They are.
But I have never responded to one or anything. But like I know girls like in college that would actively approach and like go on these websites that were like you basically sign up, put in your like stats, and then you get like connected to a sugar daddy, and then you can be like, this is how much I want on like a weekly or monthly basis.
There was like there was rumors when I was in college of like older women that wanted the same thing.
Yeah, sugar mommies are also a thing.
And so I used to see dudes getting laced, right? And so I tried to go find one. Best I could get was a pair of Jordans. That was it. And she was pretty good. She was asking for a lot more than I was willing to give. Like I was just trying to lay the pipe and then going about my business, but she was like asking for emotional, and I was like, I think that's why she ended up cutting me off. She wanted more, and I was like, I'm like, where y'all finding these people that are just giving you these racks like this? I couldn't find one.
Now, Would you think that if a school provided connections to these women, that would be a recruiting violation?
Louisville.
Yeah.
No, but
I mean, fuck the NCAA, but they would probably deem it like that. Yeah.
Like, how funny would that be?
a good idea.
If like
That's literally what Louisville did.
really?
Yes.
Yeah, Rick
that's why
Pitino.
Rick Pitino
Yeah, but I
got
thought
fired.
that was strippers.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all they did.
No, but I'm saying
Rick Pitino.
Clear lines were drawn.
Listen, if I know something about Rick Pitino, there was no hanky-panky going on
I'm saying,
after the stripping
I'm
was
saying
over.
Nick Saban walks into a recruiting visit and he goes, "We can provide you with sugar mamas, and you can have your own sugar mama." He's like, "What's that?" Like, she'll buy you Jordans. Like,
Sure.
all.
Saban's not the guy who does that, but I'm confident he knows who does.
I'm
Well,
sure.
it happens. Saban goes above that. He has car dealerships.
Yeah, he
too.
owns
Way
Mercedes
smarter.
dealerships, and nobody bats an eye.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea for a recruiting tool, Billy. Did you ever, on your many college visits, Billy?
To my
Yeah, where did you go on your college visits?
I went to a bunch of low-tier FCS schools, and then like D3 schools.
Oh, never mind. That sucks.
Yeah, there's no
Definitely
no one was throwing the bag at me.
No
It was like,
prostitutes
these are
there.
our academic
No
grants.
sugar
and
mamas.
You qualify for this.
Yeah.
Billy, you look like you would be prime picking for a little sugar mama though, who would just like.
Billy's gonna start blushing.
I'm pretty sure this is sexual harassment right now.
Come through, lay it down.
No,
she'll cook you food.
Pool boy.
Yeah, Billy the pool boy.
Billy the pool boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh man.
Heard
you know what they should do?
Your
They should
pipes were clogged.
You know what? They should create an app for older women looking for younger men and connect
down
them,
with that.
and then sign up all the incels to that.
No.
Ashley Madison.
Also, Billy, what you're
Didn't that get
describing,
shut down?
what Billy's describing right now would just immediately be overrun by all young dudes. It would just be young dudes talking to each other on the website. Very few older women would actually sign up.
PFT, wasn't that the name of the site?
Ashley Madison was the Life is Short, Have an Affair website.
Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah,
When it was-
And then like
married couples.
every user's information got hacked or something, and they
Yeah.
posted like every single person who'd ever used it.
Yeah, who would have ever seen that coming?
Dudes. It was all dudes.
Yeah, that's what. So they marketed themselves as being like a 50-50 split, if not more female. And I think it was like 93% dudes,
Yeah.
7% women on the website, because as we discussed earlier, a woman can go outside and be like, yeah, me and you right now, no need to register online for this, or give my credit card information. And so, yeah, they got a lot of people's email addresses, and I think a lot of people's just domains, because I remember seeing that there were like 15 people at ESPN that had signed up for it using their @ESPN.com email addresses, which all-time dumbass move, signing up for an adultery website using your business email.
Dude, it pisses me off how much like other media companies just do like the most fuck shit, but like Barstool's the bad guy.
A lot of
We
fuck
don't have
shit.
to get into
a lot
it.
of fuck shit at other places for sure. Anything?
The way you're talking about like women can just go outside and point, do you think, and this plays more into Billy's incel obsession than porn?
I'm
than
not
prostitution.
obsessed. It's fear.
Do we think porn, because every video I've seen, it's always the woman coming on to the man. It's never the man having to like finesse his way into it. It's
You ever
always
seen
the
MILF Hunter? He goes
Even then,
he goes to
it's-
grocery stores and meets totally real chicks, and he's just like, "Hey, let me show you how to tell if these melons are ripe." And then he comes on to them. Next thing you know, they go home and bang.
He is pretty much like the only one. Like at pizza delivery, it's always just like, I forgot money. Why don't you come in? But it's always the woman coming on to the man. Do you think that plays into the psychology? Because it's just like, I'm a man. Why is no woman ever just inviting me home into her home when I'm trying to sell these vacuums?
That's a good point.
So on what I've read up about it, porn is a huge factor in incels being radicalized.
I believe it.
Yeah. In various different ways.
And so you're saying that they watch porn and their surprised that real life doesn't play out that way.
Exactly. Because it's their only.
They're stupider. They're stupider than I thought.
It's
No,
their
it's
only
Not even
They're
necessarily
socially-
like the play-by-play
It's
of
their
their
only
but the women are always predominantly coming on to men.
They have no social. They don't have the social intelligence to know that isn't reality.
Yeah, it's their only
Fry 'em up,
experience
Billy.
with like seeing a sexual interaction.
Yeah.
So they don't know that that's not how it works
Like, yeah.
most of the time.
I wonder what they thought when they watched Avatar.
I wonder. Good question.
Well, they start.
Your Avatar bets.
Well, they live in a world of a lot of media consumption, be it video games and stuff, and then they think that's real
Don't blame
life.
video games. Now you sound like a 90s Republican. Don't
Yeah,
blame
well-
video games.
Video games are directly been studied and they do not lead to any kind of violence, bro.
Now, I do think it becomes one of the communities that they get involved in because they don't have another community. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
the gaming
Sure.
the gaming world provides like a little bit of support to them.
Oh my god, family! Like, so I play Valorant, right?
Yeah.
When you get on Valorant and there happens to be a woman that's queued with you, dudes go fucking nuts.
Those are the
Weird, bro.
incels.
They're fucking weird.
Those
They're like, oh my god, you're a girl. Oh my god. They start, they bitch her. They do this. They do that. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all need to get outside.
That's where they all live.
Shit's weird. Big weirdo energy, man. Sometimes I get drunk and play Valorant. I be telling niggas to pull up.
Oh, so you've taken on the incel community before.
Because it's cat is what it is. So they be all right. That been get hit with the nigger hard ER all the time on that game, and I'm like, pull up. Let's see, pull up. I've given my address to like 2 or 3 of them cats late night. Like,
Oh
pull
my
up,
God.
bro. Pull up. Pull up.
Imagine if like an incel actually pulled up to Arian's place and it's fucking Arian Foster.
Clapped.
Yeah.
Clapped. In Texas,
my
you
God.
don't need a reason. You getting clapped.
I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen. Do you have a Nest Cam or something like that? An automatic
The ring-
security
the
camera?
ring
I got
doorbell.
security. I got security.
Okay, I want to see the footage of that.
I got you. As soon as one of these
Yeah.
motherfuckers pull up.
I'll be investing in one.
Keep you
Because-
safe, Billy.
You can see every time Mince knocks on your door.
Yeah, what are you afraid of? You got Mincy right there. He can protect you.
Dude, these guys do some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm actually terrified of them.
All right, we've
Look like you
established
look
that.
legitimately like shook. You like they finna follow you home today and shit.
Like,
man.
talk about, like, being afraid of getting convicted for a crime you didn't do, such as
Also
big
stupid.
teeth. Yeah, but
Yeah, my fear is spending life in prison. Billy's scared of dudes who can't even like have sex.
No, Billy's
they
I don't know,
kill
Big T.
people.
Billy's fear is being killed
No,
by a guy
an
that
infinitesimal
doesn't even
percentage
fuck as
of
much
them
as him.
have done fucked up shit. The others are just really weird.
But Billy, you wouldn't even be on their radar, bro.
Well, now I am.
Yeah, you've really talked away.
That's why.
They have like a fucking monitoring service. Anytime incels mentioned on the internet, like they can get the fuck out of here, bro. It's like 2 hours into the podcast. Niggas is not checking for you, Billy. I promise.
Okay. Thank
If
you.
they're on my bumper, if anything, they're like, fuck
Definitely.
that guy.
Yeah, they definitely have like racism ahead of you, for sure.
Perfectly. Well, I just want to let them know my body count is plentiful, and most of them I didn't even have to try. It was bestowed upon me.
Love it.
Oh man.
All right, we got anything else you want to add to Stushin? Stute talk.
Make sex work illegal. I mean legal.
Yeah,
I
legalize.
was gonna say, run that.
And we need to start running up these mentions for the Avatar site so we can get the momentum going for Avatar 2, because I feel like we can make this shit happen. Yo.
I think
We can do this shit.
Arian can definitely be at least an extra in Avatar 2.
That would be fire.
Yeah.
I would love that more than me being in draft day.
I don't think that you would. I think it might shatter your illusion of
Too close to it, yeah.
whatever the fuck that planet is called.
Oh no, Pandora.
Pandora. Sorry, excuse me. You'd be like on the soundstage looking around, like there's a green screen all around you, and you'd be like, this has completely shattered my reality.
I do my job. I go home, wait for the effects to get added, and then I bask in the gloriousness of what they create.
All right.
Beautiful.
If you're the director of Avatar, James Cameron, you listen to this podcast, I know you're a big fan of the show. First of all, sorry for everything that Billy said about incels. Secondly, hit up Arian. Hit up Arian. Get him in the
DMs are open.
Get him
James
in the
Cameron.
movie. So that about does it for. No, you know what we need to do? We actually have a couple things we got to clean up here. First of all, we got to do the Tennessee Minute.
Yeah.
Tennessee Minute with Arian and Big T. Right before the show started today, sat down on GarageBand and made a trap version of Rocky Top. So, Big T, I'm going to need you to sing along to this.
You want to sing?
Yeah, you're singing.
Okay, you have to sing also.
Okay. Avery, you got the file?
Yeah, Madeline, if you wanna, here. Well, no, I could just put it in post. So you could just do this, or do you want to actually play it? I can do either one.
I want to play because we got to have Big T
Okay.
sing along to it.
Yep.
I can play it on my computer if that's easier.
Billy, what you Googling, man?
While we're waiting on this, Tennessee defeated Tennessee Tech 56-0 on Saturday. Tyler Barron had half a sack, and it's a big week this week. It's Florida week. So, Arian,
Where we at in negotiations with Tyler Barron, man? Where we at?
I think that's Madeline and Avery. I don't know anything about that.
Big T, you guys said it's the biggest scoring gap between two schools in college history. You guys have played them 3 times. They've never scored a point, and you guys have never hung less than 54 on them.
Wow.
Really? I didn't know that. I know we played them when I was in school, and it was like 63-0, I think.
Yeah, you guys have played them 3 times ever. They've never scored, and you've hung at least, I believe, 54 on them all 3 times.
So is it more than Georgia Tech and Cumberland, which was 222-0 in one game?
That was the one, but that's the one game. I believe they've played other times as well, even before.
Okay.
How is that even possible? That's like scoring on every play.
Tech also didn't attempt to pass in that game, and Cumberland started punting on first down. You should read into that game. It's very interesting. But yeah, so Florida. Arian, what was your freshman year?
Oh, true freshman year 04, redshirt 05.
So you were there for the Will Hoyt game then? Against
he was
Florida.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, my brother caught that ball.
Really?
Yeah, he was in the stands that game.
So
That's
you
pretty
did get to beat Florida once.
I didn't beat
Well,
them.
yeah,
I was
but you were on the team.
I don't count that.
So you never beat Florida?
Not while I was there. No.
Before we do the song, I just have something quickly to add because we got a lot of DMs about it. Big T, what were you doing on September 2nd? Do you remember?
September 2nd?
Yeah. People just want to know.
I don't know what the implication of this is, but I don't remember why.
Because UT police put out a thing asking if anybody knows the man that used a stolen credit card from an elderly victim at the football game at Neyland Stadium to purchase $350 worth of merchandise.
Yeah, I watched it at a bar in Manhattan, so I was not in Knoxville for that. I did see that, actually.
Okay, just want to make sure we clear that up.
That guy's a scumbag, yeah. So
did he look like Big T?
No.
If the credit card had charged like $350 of Angry Orchards, we'd know Big T was our guy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's play the Tennessee Minute theme song. Big T, got it. Sing along. Ready?
Okay. Do you want me to start it?
Yeah. Get ready though.
Are we ready?
Yep. Wait.
Is this?
Hang on. Replay it.
I don't know where to go in.
It was right at the beginning.
Like right when it starts?
Yeah. Just wish that.
Do you want me to count you guys down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bills. Once I had a girl on Rocky Top, half bear, the other half cat. Wild as a mink, but sweet as soda pop, I still dream about that. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. I watched PFT make that beat in about 5 minutes.
It's lit. That was a good song.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was some interesting cats, man, for sure.
Tell you what, we're gonna redo it. I'm gonna keep that beat, but I'm gonna have Big T sing the lyrics to it into a microphone so I'm gonna mix it together, so it's gonna sound good. I might even put some crazy like effects on your voice after.
Auto-tune.
Yeah, I might auto-tune Big T's voice on it.
Big T Pain.
I love it. All right, well, that does it for this week's macrodosing. Make sure to tune in on Thursday for nano dosing. Or is it mini dose?
Nano.
It's nano.
I think it's nano. And also, we got to address that. I'm getting many DMs, dog, that's saying Billy has some stolen valor, and you got that from somebody else. Is this true?
No. Billy wouldn't steal valor.
when we were
No, Billy, say it ain't so.
There was many people who said what we should have called it.
Uh-huh.
And there's tons of submissions, and I came up with nano dosing, but other people also came up with nano dosing and DM'd it to me.
Okay.
So it's like there was mini dosing, nano dosing, micro dosing.
I had to address it. I was like, yo, I don't know Billy to be that kind. But.
I believe Billy too, because it happens from time to time. We get DMs and it's things that you have already put into motion.
It's just like good idea,
yeah.
We all have the same brains.
You know what that tells us? That our listeners were on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
We all have the same brains.
Because we're all just like, what's another like fragment word that means small?
We got macro brains.
Nano.
Yeah. Nano.
Micro.
No, not micro. It's not micro dosing.
That was the low hanging fruit. I think that was the low hanging fruit.
Teeny dosing.
No, I like nano dosing.
Nano dosing is fun.
Nano dosing. So we'll put that out again on Thursday. Thanks for everybody that listened to the first one. Send in your questions for us for nano dosing. What's the number that they can send it to?
It is 347-560. I'm doing this off of memory. 0401. Did I nail that? I fucking nailed that. 347-560-0401.
Sounds good.
Underwear.
And if Arian gets it right, Tennessee will cover the spread. 20-point spread.
Do it. You are wearing green.
Ooh.
Green. That's a wild guess.
It is a wild guess.
If you get this right, what color is that?
It's blue.
That's fucking green, bro.
No, it's blue.
That's Avatar blue. That's Avatar blue.
It looks like.
Are you wearing Avatar underwear?
Well, they are blue like stripes.
It's blue on blue.
It actually looks.
All right, that's close.
I will say.
Speaking, was pretty close to green, man.
If you could see them, they're not green.
Speaking of our listeners, I was at the Barstool Classic this week. I was gone for 10 days, but we had a ton of Macrodosians at the Barstool Classic. Like, a lot of people came up to me and said they love our podcast, so it was pretty awesome.
Very cool. Thank you, guys. Yep. Appreciate every single last one of you. That's a fact.
I also went to Vegas for the first time. Saw the Roomba.
You saw, the Allegiant Stadium.
That place is sick.
How's she doing?
It's unbelievable. Well, all fired up ever since you had your way with her.
Was she reflective in the sunlight?
Oh yeah.
Did she mention me?
No.
It's a good looking stadium. It really
is.
Haven't been out to Vegas in a year. Last time I was out there, spent some time with her, but hope to get out there soon. Hopefully in the next couple months, we'll be back out in Vegas. But tune in on Thursday for nano dosing. Until then,
let me know when you're going to Vegas. I'll pull up.
We should do a road trip out there.
That'd be fun.
There's got to be some stuff in Vegas we can get into.
That'd be fire.
Go to Area 51's around there, right?
Area 51.
Yes.
Storm Area 51.
Right, and if we're doing a trip to Vegas, I'm not going to Area 51. I'm just letting you know right now.
I mean,
we'll figure something out.
Maybe we'll kidnap you.
That's some incel shit to say, Billy.
All right. Love you guys.